Is it working? It should be. It should be. Come on, Bump Demon. Do one for the night out, yeah. There's I already covered Brooke yesterday, so I guess there's not gonna be like anything new. But there's like I don't know. I was poking through these videos. They're not a lot of videos. Then they're pretty short, just like her videos, not her live streams. The first one is about fucking aliens. Bob Lazar. I thought that was laser. I thought she just didn't know how to spell fucking laser, but yeah, I was like, I'll watch these. I'm thinking about just maybe not sniping her and covering her day during the night when like a lot of people hate Brooke. And I think all those people are sleeping at night. So I could just like do this while they're sleeping and I could just never sleep. And it's gonna fuck my numbers up, but I'd rather not destroy the community that my channel's fucking built on. For some new Brooke people that, I don't know, they probably don't give a fuck about any of my other content. It's a conflicting time for me right now, and it's annoying. And it's like, I don't know, it really sucks when things seem to be like going in a good direction, and then everyone's just like not feeling it. So I gotta kind of adjust for whatever. But anyways, I want to watch these, and we'll just see how things go. In life, can't make everybody happy. But I'm just trying to be fucking happy, bro. And it's like apparently impossible. That's okay. That's okay. My happiness is probably the least important out of everyone else's, but oh, okay, we actually already watched that one. I just don't want to feel like fucking shit every goddamn day.
So there was a boy last week that reported aliens in his backyard. He described them to law enforcement while on the phone with the cops. Come to find out that wasn't just one person that saw these creatures. His whole family saw them. Neighbors saw.
Oh, is this the jetpacks? There was people in Peru who saw people in jetpacks and thought they were aliens. Is that this? Is that this, Brooke?
Them. We're talking about hundreds of people that saw this incident occur. And it's ironic to me because it kind of runs concurrent with this whistleblower that's going to Congress to talk Congress into telling the public the truth about their alien retrieval program.
I really wish you could show thing Northwest Valley Backyard. I think that's the news agency. Well, let's see. Northwest Valley Backyard. And we'll just put aliens in. Las Vegas family claims to see aliens. Oh wait, no, I remember this one. I don't believe them. I remember them. Let's see if we can. We'll just play the news. What's the shortest one? This 2-minute one.
Well, we have all seen the movies about alien life forms visiting our planet.
That's right. Some are wondering if a reported encounter in the valley earlier this year was fact or just more fiction about
Probably more fiction, huh?
visitors from another galaxy. Our Brian Horwath has more on this strange story.
A few weeks ago, some folks in northwest Las Vegas thought they saw something in the sky. Then they thought they saw some creatures in their...
Why are we editing like this? Why is he in a dark room? Is this like a fucking CRT computer? And then we got this recording overlay to make it look like it was recorded on like one of those old cameras. We still got this the news layover as well. It's all very strange. There we go.
Their backyard. But what was it? What did they see, if anything? We don't know the truth yet, but the truth is out there somewhere. During the overnight hours of April 30th, family...
Truth is out there. What's his name? What the fuck is his name in X-Files? Scully is the girl. I don't remember the guy's name. I want to say Alan, but I think that's wrong.
Family members at a Northwest Valley home near Ann Road.
Alan and Scully? Let me look at this.
And the 95 freeway called the police after seeing what they described as non-human beings. Whatever it was they thought they saw, it left the family...
Fox Muller? I don't remember that being saying. Maybe that's Fox Muller telling somebody else. Maybe I'm thinking of Small Soldiers.
Family spooked, and UFO hunters and alien enthusiasts talking for weeks. Podcaster Doug Papa has followed the story from the start. He's even interviewed some of the family members.
I'm not discounting what the family told me, because I was not there and neither was anybody else.
What they say they saw was a large object falling from the sky and then two creatures up to 8 or 10 feet tall roaming their backyard. Police arrived and looked around, but the creatures had allegedly crept away. Was it aliens arriving in Las Vegas? A neighbor says while he believes in space creatures,
it was dark, and some of the stuff I wasn't 100% sure what was back there.
Still, there was something in the sky over Las Vegas that night. Mike Hankey of the American Meteor.
He just says a fucking meteorite he keeps lying around that he wants to show this guy. It's like, just in case you're doubting my credentials, I have a fucking meteorite right here.
Our society says it wasn't an alien craft, but rather a fireball or a very bright meteor.
People saw it not only in Las Vegas, but in California. And so that's how we know that it's a fireball high at the edge of the atmosphere, because the distance between people is so far away.
If alien beings have made contact here on Earth, it might make sense they would visit the E.T. Fresh Jerky store in the remote desert about 2 hours north of...
Yeah, so that's just a plug for a fucking jerky store. I thought I had my highlights working. What is going on here? Why did it not work? Oh, that's really weird. Am I crazy? Why isn't it working? The hell? Hold on. Well, very confusing. I can't highlight any comments because it's just not working. Which is weird. Why? That's the right. Whatever. I can't highlight comments. I have it all. It's like I was gonna be like, is the plugin not working? If the plugin wasn't working, I wouldn't be able to press things, right? At least that's my fucking understanding of it. But I have like the link in the OBS, and it's just not working. Why? Oh well. Anyways, I think this is the news story she's talking about. Was my whole point. I'm on a fucking sidetrack here.
Bob Lazar doesn't seem so crazy now, does he? I think the most terrifying part of these videos, because it's a bunch of Ring doorbells, and they tell a story. If you watch them like they're supposed to be watched, they tell a huge story. Aliens fell out of the freaking sky, okay? But if you watch this, you can feel the impact and the recoil in your chest. I know I can when I watch it. And you know it's bad when the cops are so freaked out. They tell you, if you see something else, don't call us back. We're not coming back. They were freaked the hell out. Hey.
It's that they said? They're freaked the hell out. Don't call us if you see aliens. We don't deal with aliens.
Y'all, so this is gonna kind of be like one of those sporadic Brooks everywhere videos, because I'm literally so violently upset right now that it's gonna be hard for me to get through this video. So, sorry. I was looking for evidence or statistics or a record of how many children are taken from their homes every year from misdiagnosed abuse. And wouldn't you know it, there's nothing. But what I did find was this one article, and it's literally got me so upset that I have to talk about this now because I'm running on all 10 engines right this second. It says, hundreds of parents say kids were wrongly taken from them after a doctor misdiagnosed abuse. If you don't know what CPS is, DHS, DSS, they are a state-run organization. It is the government, and their job is supposed to be to ensure that no children is getting harmed in any way, whether it's neglect, abuse, sexual assault, stuff like that. I'm going to start off by just reading this article, and then I'm going to tell you what I think.
I really don't know if the highlights aren't working. What the fuck?
It says parents in Michigan lost custody of their 6-week-old son after a doctor observed marks on the abdomen and reported them as diagnostic of physical abuse. A judge ordered the child and the sibling be returned months later. So that means that DSS took this little boy and his sister and had them for months in state custody.
And they gave them back, so they were wrong. But you didn't get your kids back, Brooke. So I'd have to assume they're right. Who the fuck is this? Whose house are we in right now?
However, after a hearing of evidence, the lesions were likely caused by the straps of a baby swing. This whole family had their life uprooted because
She did break her kid's arm. I have to find a different way to highlight comments now, which is kind of fucking crazy.
of a baby swing.
This was recorded, let's find out. It was recorded July 12th, 2023.
A special
Almost 2 years ago.
education teacher in Florida and her pandemic husband were separated from their 4-month-old son after a doctor told child welfare workers that bleeding in the boy's brain must have been the result of violent shaking syndrome. It was later found. Now, I know about this case personally because I actually Googled this, and you can find.
I know about this case personally because I actually Googled. I thought she said we were going to be like, it was a friend of mine or I was there. I don't think she knows what personally means. What do you know? You just kind of like are familiar with it because you get a goo. You did a goo. Is that what she calls it? Give it a goo.
Information about this family on YouTube. It was actually a 4-month-old boy and a little girl who was his older sister. And initially, when they left the hospital, the doctors had already called DHS, but they left the hospital before CPS showed up. So then a couple of days later, CPS shows up at these people's homes, essentially kicks in the fucking door and steals their children. Essentially
meaning that's not.
Months later, it was determined that the doctor had overlooked an underlying medical condition. This boy had some kind of severe blood clots, which is why he was bleeding like he was in the brain. So there was the doctor just misdiagnosed. The doctor said it had to have been abuse. It can't be some rare blood disorder.
How dare they see it like something that could be usually interpreted as abuse and not just think it's a rare blood disorder. And
in Washington State, 2 children were taken from their mother after a doctor reported that she had been abusing them with unnecessary medical treatments. The children were returned 14 months later when a judge ruled that most of the physician's testimony was without supporting factual basis. That's what the judge said. The judge said that the doctor had no factual basis to take this woman's children. Now, mind you, the doctor didn't take the children. The doctor just calls CPS, and CPS takes the children.
Yeah.
Y'all, the reason that this makes me so emotional is I know firsthand how these people can fuck up your life. How these people can completely destroy the foundation of which you've built your life on. They can. Now, mind you, in my opinion, most of these people that work for DHS, CPS, DSS, whatever you want to call them, are not qualified to be in their positions whatsoever, in my opinion. These stories are among those shared with NBC News and the Houston Chronicle by more than 300 families from 38 states. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why is she like crying?
I think the hardest part of this is the fact that it was only a year-long investigation. 1 year. And in 1 year, over 300 families in 38 states were affected by being wrongly accused of something they never did. Y'all, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, here's the family with the little boy that had the brain bleed. You can find them on Google, YouTube.
Give us anything to fucking search off of other than this picture? You can find them, you know. This is what they look like. Go find, just Google family and search for these guys.
I mean, as you can see, they look like very well put together little family. They look like a happy little family. It's just crazy that you can lose everything, lose your kids, lose your job, lose everything you're working towards because these people have a bad feeling. Because that's every single story that
I mean, it's a sad story, but it sounds like they saw something that looked like abuse, and instead of just assuming it's a rare blood disorder, they erred on the side of caution and removed the child from the home. I'm sure there were other factors other than that. But okay, I mean, I don't know why. Brooke lost her kids. That's why she's fucking picking this story to talk about.
read to you was a bad feeling. There was no actual basis for any of these children to be taken from their families. Not one of these cases. And apparently, from what, Houston Chronicle and NBC says, there was over 300 families last year that had this done to them. Now, I have a question. How many more of these families don't come forward and don't tell their story?
You? Brooke, it's like you. Or me.
Yeah. It's a lot.
My fucking highlights.
So like I said, this video is kind of sporadic, and I hope one day that I can actually find some evidence to actually give you guys, because I know that people want that, but it is really hard to find, factual, statistical information on how many families exactly have been torn apart. These are the only families that we have right now because they came forward and they spoke of their story, and I wish more people would come forward and tell their story of what actually happened to them with DPS or CPS. I do find it weird that these children were held on to for 4 months to 14 months. I mean, do you know what can happen to your child in 14 months? 14 minutes, 14 seconds. It's crazy because we don't have...
Do you know what can happen in that amount of time? Yeah, these highlights aren't gonna work. I've tried 10 different ways to do this.
Any evidence on how many people are actually how many families are torn apart for illegal reasons, in my opinion. This is illegal. What CPS is doing to families that are not abusing their children is illegal. And so we don't have statistics on that. How many families, how many children, none of that we have. But what we do have is we have actual factual statistical evidence of what happens to a child once they're removed from a home and they go into independent living, foster home, temporary foster homes. It's proven that it is not good for them, that it's disruptive to the future. So I don't understand why taking the child... I don't understand why this is the method of doing things. This is obviously not working, because we have over 300 families just from last year that had their lives destroyed for nothing. And statistically speaking, you're more likely to be sexually abused going into foster care. The statistics for that information is there. It's just really hard for me because I know from personal experience, I know from family experience, I know from friends. I've felt this on my own soil here at home, and it's a lot to deal with. And I probably have PTSD, but it is what it is. And I'm just going to continue to fight for what I believe in. And my life's mission is to bring some awareness to what is going on.
I think we've kind of strayed from the life mission a bit.
Because, once again, these are state-owned and operated. This is our own government doing this. And I'm sorry for being emotional. I hope everybody has a good day. Hey, y'all.
What am I going to do? I'm going to have to do this like how we do Brooke's fucking chat. Brooke, I don't like doing that, though, because then I don't know. Maybe there won't be any rambunctious people tonight. We'll figure it out.
How's it going? I hope everybody's having a great day. I recently moved back from Florida, and it has rained like 15 of the 30 days that I've been back. Not even joking. It's been pouring here. So must be all of the storms coming off the Florida coast. I hope everybody's safe and well out there. Love Florida. Y'all are near and dear to my heart. Love Florida. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and it is actually, it's personal to me, and I'm gonna try to get through it. And I just want to be clear that this is all information that I found on the internet, and do your own research, you know. But
We're just gonna. I thought we were gonna talk about aliens again. Now we're talking about wrongful convictions, Alfred pleas, eyewitness errors, faulty forensics, and the prison systems. Okay, yeah, that's on par with Brooke's life.
I was actually really shocked about the information that I found, because I didn't know that wrongful incarceration was actually going up in numbers, and it was actually at an all-time high this past year. I've been a victim of wrongful incarceration, and I took an Alfred plea. Now, this has been almost 10 years ago, and I will say that the one good thing that come out of that Alfred plea was me turning my life around. So I am grateful in that sense. But if I had to go back and do it over, knowing that I was innocent, I would never have took an Alfred plea, ever. It was actually my attorney's advice, and I had a court-appointed attorney, and I was just a number, you know?
Simply bringing light to the darkness of the world.
And I'll be honest, I did not have my life in order. I was not living the way of the Lord, and it was my own fault, all of it. But I just, you know,
I think that's the most responsibility I've heard her take.
wrongful
It was my own fault, all of it.
incarceration.
Even though I was innocent. It kind of undercuts it, but like, we're getting there. We've actually regressed because it's 2 years ahead and she's worse. But back here, it looks like maybe there's a gleam of hope.
Is something that really interests me, and all I want to do is bring awareness to it, of how likely it is to happen to one, and to you, to me, to anyone. So let's just dive right in, all right? So last year, there was around 240 wrongful convictions. Now, these people were exonerated, but that's more than 5 people a week, and that's actually a record high. You would think with DNA and technology and forensic science and all of these things that it would actually be less likely to happen, but more than ever, it's more likely to happen. And it's just kind of wild to me, especially with like DNA and stuff. Like, what is going wrong? So what's going wrong is exonerations involved misconduct by government officials, mistaken eyewitness identifications, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit more in a minute, false or misleading forensic science, jailhouse informants. Faulty forensic is also a leading cause of wrongful convictions. I just want to make that clear. It's a leading cause. So one would think,
No, I should know that.
That, you know, you could be exonerated, but something happens in the lab and no, you're, you know, could you imagine sitting in a jail cell for 3 years while you wait on a trial, only to find out that the forensic labs has fucked something up? Yeah.
Ugh.
And I think that it kind of goes without.
This has nothing to do with Brooke. So Brooke, she broke her kid's arm, didn't get it treated for 2 weeks, dropped it off at a babysitter, and the babysitter took it, and there was an investigation that was launched. And then when Brooke was like, no, they must have broke their arm at the babysitters, they're like, that would have been impossible because his kid's arm's been broken for 2 weeks. And then they did an investigation, and they found there was like needles in the kids' toys and stuff. So this, I don't know. I don't know about this fucking forensic shit and misleading whatever. It's not, doesn't apply to Brooke.
Overstating that imprisonment of any manner is profoundly scarring. But I do think that being innocent and imprisoned, yeah, that's hard. That's really hard. It's the hardest thing in my entire life that I have ever went through. I'll tell you that much, and I've been through some stuff. But it's profoundly scarring for innocent and non-innocent people. I mean, it's known to cause PTSD.
Innocent and so guilty people?
You know, institutionalization. Say
Just say I'll learn that word.
that 5 times. Depression. And, you know, it's known that it's not good. So where is this happening the most? Because that's what I really wanted to know. How likely is this happening? How much is this happening, and where? Actually, Illinois, California, New York, and Texas, which has the death penalty, are the 4 top states to be wrongfully convicted. And actually, last year, 30 people were exonerated in Illinois. 30 people. Oh, and get this, nearly half of those exonerated had been wrongfully convicted of drug-related crimes after being framed by a group of corrupt police officers in Chicago. Now, I distinctively remember this.
Chicago.
And I remember this
This would work in Heather's favor, but it doesn't apply to Brooke.
case, and these cops were ethically bankrupt. They were literally planning drugs to frame people.
Oh,
It's
man.
so fucked up.
Yeah, cops can be shit sometimes.
So, we don't really have any new numbers. All of these numbers are from 2019 and 21, which is kind of crazy. But studies estimate between 4 and 6% of people incarcerated in U.S. prisons are actually innocent. Now, this study was done in 21, so that the way that things are progressing, it seems like that it might be higher than that, is all I'm saying. If 5% of individuals are actually innocent, that means 1 out of 20 every criminal case results in a wrongful conviction. That's around 12,000 people serving time in jail for something that they didn't do currently. Around 195,000 people every year are convicted of a crime. Out of that 195,000 people, around 975 of them are actually innocent. So let's talk about the death penalty a little bit, because
I'm just gonna swing into the death penalty. I don't know why, but okay.
this is the scary part of being wrongfully convicted. If it goes really wrong, you're going to end up on death row and possibly dead. Now, a lot of states don't enforce the death penalty. I know where I live, we have it, but they haven't even executed a woman here since 1987, I do believe. And there's plenty of people sitting on death row, men's and women's prison, and they don't really enforce it here. But somewhere like Texas, we already know they got like a speed train, for that there. But around 4% from the Death Penalty Information Center, the DPIC, great website to find your own information. According to them, around 4% of people sentenced to death are actually innocent. Now, since 1973, they've actually exonerated around 190 people. So, yeah, mistakes happen. So let's touch on the eyewitness error a little bit, because we were talking about it earlier. A good percentage
The death penalty had a tendency to have deaths.
of wrongful incarcerations actually involve an eyewitness error. So it says here, playing a role in 72%.
Why can't I? What do you mean? Why? See, you can't even criticize now. I'll just ban you. How about that? I'll just start banning people I don't fucking feel like talking to.
Of convictions overturned with DNA testing. Eyewitness misidentifications are known to have played a role in 70% of the 350 wrongful convictions which were overturned by DNA evidence. So you're pretty much saying 3 out of every 4 eyewitness statements is wrong when it's dealing with wrongful convictions. But yeah, wild. And I think that we all know that the African American community is a huge target for cops and the system and the government. It's no secret. But I was really shocked when I seen that Black Americans are 7 times more likely than white Americans to be falsely convicted of a serious crime. Like, that's just outrageous. 7 times.
Outrageous.
And I also found on the Innocence Project, I found on their website, it says 12%. It's just outrageous. It's illegal. It's messed up. So let's actually break down the race pattern of who all makes up the demographic of prison. Because one
Why are you looking into this now?
would think that it would be the African American community, but it's not. It's not. Asian, 1.4%. Native American, 2.6%. Black Americans, 38.5%. White Americans, 57.4.
Yeah, but you know that there's like a lot more white people in America, right? So if you actually look at it like that way, it would be disproportionate, like by the population size of those demographics.
So the majority of people in prison are actually white. Just want to point that out because, you know, statistics. Yay. Let's see.
Statistics to suit whatever the fuck we want to talk about, right?
So it says, specifically, nearly 98% of convictions nationwide come from a guilty plea. Yet when it comes to the country's record number of exonerations of innocent people, 26% or more are actually innocent. So 98% of convictions come from a guilty plea. But 26% are actually guilty, but are actually innocent.
I mean, she only made it, I think, what, 3 days at each strip club? She's never, I don't know, she never held down a job at a strip club. She's always gotten fired. She's always starting shit with the other strippers or the customers or security, or just bitching about not making enough money. And then I don't think her act was very good. She posted herself stripping on Facebook, and it was like, I don't know, people compared her to a frog, which is probably not what you want to be. I don't think guys want to be thinking of frogs when they go to strip clubs.
But plead guilty. You know, I know that people take guilty pleas because they want to speed up the court process. They don't want to be.
Yeah, she called herself a traveling stripper.
Like, you know, stuck. It can take 4 years to settle a court case, you know? Like, I've went through 2 years before of waiting for my court case to be heard. Now, I just want to mention that it's been over 10 years since I've been in any kind of legal trouble. These are not recent incidents. I'm actually kind of proud of that. But, yeah, so people will take a guilty plea because they're just ready to get it over with. I took my Alford plea, which is not a guilty plea, and I'll tell you
It is a guilty plea.
the difference in a minute. But like, I took my Alford plea because my attorney told me to, and it was court-appointed attorney. And
But you don't have to do everything just because they're telling you to do that. If you're actually innocent, I'd say don't take a fucking Alford plea. But she's not innocent, so like this is the best she could get.
I wish I could do it over. If I could do it over, I would never have took that plea. So the difference between a guilty plea and an Alford plea is a guilty plea is a guilty plea. And you're going to be sentenced as if you're guilty. An Alford plea is the state saying, here, either we don't have enough evidence or you have too much evidence to defend yourself. It doesn't look good for us. So you can say that you're innocent, but we're going to treat you like you're guilty, essentially.
Yeah, so this is either Uncle Randy's house or she's house sitting. I don't really know, actually. I'm kind of confused. I'm not confused. I gotta go double check something because I was pulling up dates when she was driving in the truck, but then she was also in this house. But I might have gotten it wrong. It says 1 year ago. Oh, no, whoops. Don't do that. It says 1 year ago. I don't know if you can see that there. 1 year. Which made me think it was a year ago. It said it was a year ago. But it's almost 2 years ago. It's like in a month it's gonna be 2 years. So I don't know why it says that. Anyways, this is from 2023. I think when I was looking at those other videos, they're from 2024. So I don't think if those other videos are from 2024, which they would have to be, because the oldest video on her streams is from May of 2024. Then I don't think it's the house she was house sitting at. I don't know if you guys remember when I pulled up those streams and she was house sitting with that dog and she was taking us around. I thought at first, since this was around the same date, but it's not in 2024, it's in 2023. So this could be Uncle Randy's house.
Because you get sentenced just like if you pled guilty. You know, you can go to prison, get on probation, community service, house arrest. The list goes on. But like, the difference is with an Alford plea, you're openly stating that you feel like you're innocent. You know you're innocent. You know you're innocent. And you realize that the state either has too much evidence against you, or it might look a certain way and the outcome be guilty. or you don't actually have enough evidence to defend yourself. So it's a better option. But a guilty plea is just a guilty plea. It's saying, yep, I did that. An Alfred plea is saying, no, I didn't do that. I'm innocent, but I realize that because of my past record or my past drug use or, you know, my family history, because of these things, I might still get a guilty outcome. So that's...
I think when she's in North Carolina, she's probably sleeping in her hoe house or the fucking whatever. I don't know. I think she's probably staying around Uncle Randy's when she's in North Carolina. Because she said herself, there's nowhere for homeless people to be in North Carolina. And that's where she is right now. In Florida, when she's in Florida, I can't see her staying with too many people, like, unless she knows people down there, right? When she got arrested, she was in the truck when she got arrested. So I don't know why she would have been, like, out there in the truck if she had somewhere to be. And she does stream sometimes when she can't get sleep. But, like, I don't know. In North Carolina, I definitely think she's not staying on the truck.
That's the difference. And actually, so a full 26% of people that plead guilty are innocent. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. I mean, I think that it goes without saying that we need prison reform. But these numbers are just so shocking to me, how high they are and how much this actually happens. You know, 2 or 3 people a day wrongfully convicted for something they didn't do. We're talking 1,000 people a year or more. Like, it's just outrageous. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah, breaking your kid's arm is hard. But you can't really, like, fake a broken arm, right? So as much as, like, there is corruption in the police, it doesn't apply to Brooke. She's just, like, cherry picking shit that she thinks she'd be like, well, if I can just be like, I'm one of these statistics, but she's not.
You know, there was this guy, Daryl Hunt, who was wrongfully incarcerated for a murder that he did not commit, and he sat in prison, I do believe, 16 years. Until he was actually, 16 years. He was released in 2015 after 30 years in prison as an innocent man. And his Daryl Hunt Project for Freedom and Justice and his Daryl Hunt Innocent Project, really great program. And they help people who are currently in prison, who are innocent, you know, like the Innocence Project. So he got out and he turned his life around, and I love hearing stories like that. But did you know that it was this many people getting wrongfully accused of crimes that they didn't that they didn't commit every day? Did you know that? Because I had no freaking clue. I thought, like I said, maybe.
But that's why, like, lawyers exist. There's a good, there's a civil rights lawyer guy who fights against corrupt police like that. Yeah, it's a pretty scary world out there, Brooke. Again, it doesn't apply to her, though.
Every couple of years, 1 or 2.
If anything, the cops let her off every time they come in contact with her. Like, she made threats to the lady at Planet Fitness. So far, she hasn't seen any fucking repercussions from that. Well, I mean, she went to jail for 6 days, but she's like, it's all getting dropped. I don't need to do anything. She was making death threats at that guy the other day. Cops didn't do shit about it. She was at some boat place that she wasn't supposed to be at. She had no business being at this boat dock place. It's not like a public park. She couldn't go fishing. She's like, I got a fishing pole. It's like, well, you can't go fishing. Like, you need a boat to be here. And they still, like, just let her do whatever the fuck she wants. So, I don't know. I don't think the cops are out to get Brooke. She's told us stories about getting pulled over with a whole bunch of heroin in her car and needles and being strung out, and the cops just letting her go because they didn't want to deal with her. So, Brooke, I don't know. I don't know if we can be like, look at all these wrongful convictions. Yeah, I mean, like, they should have been arresting you all those times.
But I had no clue that it was thousands. It definitely just puts more weight on the fact that we need prison reform. We need something to change because it's just heartbreaking. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Weekend's coming up tomorrow. And be safe out there. Love y'all. I want to talk about the Rudy Ferris case just a little bit.
I don't know who this is.
I normally don't like to talk about cases until they completely dissolve. But this is interesting. And it...
Oh, this is a Gypsy Rose. So this is till 2023. Interesting.
And it kind of reminds me of the Gypsy Blanchard Rose case. Remember that? Now, this is Rudy, and this is
Okay, so it's just like she's comparing it to Gypsy Rose.
his mother, and she reported him missing years ago, 8 years ago, almost a decade. Come to find out, she was harboring him, holding him against his will, and abusing him, from what reports are currently saying. And the reason that this reminds me of Gypsy's case is because Gypsy's mother was holding her, making her ride around in a wheelchair, making her sick, giving her things to be sick. It's called Munchausen by proxy. And I'm wondering if Rudy has that. If you don't know the story of Gypsy, she stabbed her mother to death with her boyfriend. And I'm talking a brutal murder. But it had me wondering where Gypsy was. And I knew she was in prison, but I wasn't aware that she actually can possibly get out next year. Hey, y'all.
I don't think the Diddy case is happening in this time. These are like from 2023.
Let's talk about the Sound of Freedom. It's kind of ironic because I've already on this channel talked about government agencies, DSS, CPS, about the fact that they're trying to lower the working age in some states. Kind of ironic that the GOP comes out stating that the Biden administration is allowing human trafficking to go on with our children. If you do not know, when the borders were opened, there were tons of families with children that came over our south border, and those children were separated.
I wonder if I can I wonder if I can tell if this is Randy's house or not. Hold on.
From their mothers and fathers. Now, you might have the attitude that they should have never ran over the border. Okay, that's true. I agree with you. But the fact still remains is they're here now, so what do we do with them? What they did was separate all of the children and put all of the children, the 300,000 children, over 300,000 is just what's missing and unaccounted for. So if 300,000 are missing, imagine how many actually came over and got put into temporary or permanent foster homes. Let's just listen to this. I'm going to let y'all, draw y'all's own conclusions, but I'm also going to tell you what I think at the end.
Good morning, everybody. We're here to talk about the open borders policy of the Biden administration and what sort of damage that has caused to...
That's a fancy fucking computer speaker.
Americans, no matter where you live, not just along the border region. In particular, I want to emphasize the concerns I have, and I think average Americans would also have, about the 300,000 children who've been placed with sponsors by the Biden administration's HHS, Health and Human Services, or Office of Refugee Relocation.
AKA Department of Social Services, Child Protective Services. This is the same agency that I've been complaining about. I did a longer video. I think it was my first long video that I ever posted on YouTube. Same agencies.
The New York Times did an investigative piece recently, a couple of them actually, documenting forced labor among some of those children who have been placed with sponsors. But one of the most...
Now, I've also did videos on forced labor and how they're trying to lower the age of working in certain states. And it's wild because it directly correlates with all of these children coming over the border.
Statistics that was revealed in those stories that of the 300,000 children who've been placed with sponsors in the United States, not necessarily relatives, could be a parent, could be a distant relative, but could just be a foster home, that in 85,000 of those placements, the 30-day wellness call that is typically made by the administration went unanswered.
Now, let me tell you what happens to you if you are under investigation and CPS or DHS or whatever you want to call them. If you are under investigation and you don't answer their phone calls or their 30-day wellness check, they will show up at your house. They will.
Well, why would you ignore them though?
And they have the legal right to take your child if you're not answering the phone. You have to stay in contact with these people. So I find it wild that the Biden administration and all of these CPS workers can't get in touch with these people, but yet they're doing nothing to find these children. They're doing nothing to find them. Where are these kids? How did children just disappear? Where are they? And why does the Biden administration not give a damn?
And so not only does the Biden administration not know where 300,000 children currently reside, what's happening to them, whether they're going to school, whether they're getting health care, whether they're being recruited for gangs, whether they're being trafficked for sex, or just simply neglected or abused, the Biden administration doesn't know. And the truth is they don't care. Because if they did know, they would do something about it. But they refuse to do so, even though, as the New York Times documented, high-level officials like Marty Walsh, the former Secretary of Labor, Susan Rice, former domestic policy.
What the fuck is so? Someone sent me Uncle Randy's Facebook the other day, and I was like, maybe I could see like this shit in one of his pictures or something. I don't see it, but he has like a picture of a toilet in the air. Like I don't know why he's putting a toilet in the air. I don't know how to describe this. I don't want to show his Facebook, obviously. I don't want to blow up his spot or anything. But I don't know if this is Uncle Randy's or not. I don't think so.
Advisor, among others, were told about.
I mean, it could be
what was going on.
I can't
and
verify
yet
it.
Refused to do anything about it. You know, I've wondered as a border state senator, what's it going to take to get the attention of the Biden administration to finally do something about the Biden border crisis? Well, obviously 300,000 children, who are in the United States that they don't know what they are or what's happening to them, what their circumstances are. That's not enough to move them. How about 108,000 dead Americans? Dead because they consumed some of the drugs that are smuggled across the southwestern border, including 71,000 from fentanyl. I've gone to high schools. I'm sure my colleagues.
Now, it's no secret that the drugs are coming from Mexico, but did you know that China actually makes the chemicals, sends them to Mexico, and that's where the drugs are being made? China, it's not just Mexico that's the problem. China is producing the actual chemicals that it takes to make these drugs.
It's like a double whammy. It's fucking... She hates all the races. It's China and Mexico. What are they doing? They're making drugs or something? I thought this was about families being displaced or some shit.
And I don't know if you know this as well, but it's not just Hispanics that are coming over that south border. There are people...
The Chinese are coming over the south border too?
...that are taking boats in other countries, Africa, you know, oh gosh, I saw one from the Philippines where this lady was saying that they were going to try to ride a boat over here from the Philippines. They go to Mexico and they come through the south border. They take a boat from wherever they're coming from, get to Mexico, and then come up through our south border that way. So it's not just Hispanic people that are coming in through that south border. That's my point. It's a shit show, y'all. And the sound of freedom, heartbreaking. Now, I've knew about
Remember last week when she was like, they want me to be a border patrol person. Why don't you go be a border patrol person then, Brooke? Because that would be work. She don't actually work.
Operation Underground for years. I didn't know how I could support them. Now I have. I went and supported them, and I will continue to support them as long as I'm alive and financially able to do so.
What happened to Brooke? I don't know. This is what Brooke used to be, in a house with a wind blazer on for some reason, with a whole bunch of stickers on her laptop. And now she lives in a truck with a bra and multiple devices that she forgot how to use.
They deserve all of the financial and emotional backing from everyone in this country. They literally are out here doing God's work. Meanwhile, the Biden administration can't even acknowledge that these children are missing. They're unaccounted for. It's a shit show, y'all, and I think that it's only going to get worse. My prediction is it's only going to get worse until we get...
Yeah, Brooke broke her kid's arm and stabbed two ladies. I don't have any, empathy for her. Joe Salissa fucking idiot.
Someone new in office. Now, whether that's going to be a Republican or a Democrat, I don't know. I have a feeling. Just a hunch. And I'm going to tell you right now, my gut instinct is pretty unbelievable. People say I have ESP. But anyways,
Like, show me these people. Who like, yo, that Brooke lady? I think she's got ESP.
my prediction is it's going to be a Republican. Now, I'm no far righter. I'm no far lefter. I like to think and have free thought for myself. And
Predict the future.
I am a Christian, so
She's got a crystal ball back there. It's hidden in the globe. You feel like there's a button and it turns into a crystal ball. She can see the future. She has ESP.
you know, I'm going to kind of lead with my heart.
Or is ESP just like reading people's minds? Maybe that's not looking into the future.
But yeah, did you know that these children are missing? Did you know that the Sound of Freedom was the reason that the GOP is now coming out? You can find this actual interview on Forbes. I'm sure it's on YouTube. But did you know that this was going on? I hope everybody has a
Extrasensory perception refers to the ability to perceive things beyond the five senses. Oh no, that's just the movie. I was like, I thought there were six senses. That's a movie.
fabulous day. I'm gonna go do something with myself because I look like I just crawled up out the woods after a 7-day hunt. Y'all have a good day. 66% of federal felonies are represented by public defenders. 82% state felonies are represented by a public defender. If you go to jail when you're convicted of a crime that you did or did not commit, and you don't have money to hire an attorney, they are going to give you someone from the state that works for the state who is overloaded. Their caseloads are through the freaking roof. You're just a number to them. They don't care about the outcome of that case. And their objective is to get you to sign a plea agreement so that they can have the whole mess over with.
So why didn't like Brooke start a GoFundMe for funds for a lawyer, to prove her innocence? Or at least like if she has the Alfred plea, she can like reopen it in court with evidence, right? Like she could get on that. She could have spent that 40 grand on something like that. She has a point. Like the public defenders are shit.
You have about a 99% chance of being convicted, once again, of something you did or did not do when represented by a public defender. And I'm being facetious with that number. The actual number is around 83%. So whether or not you committed that crime or not, you have an 83% chance with a public defender of being incarcerated. Lamar Johnson, who was wrongfully incarcerated for over 30 years for a crime, the murder of Marcus Boyd in 1994. And the actual killer had come forth over 10 years ago and wrote a confession to this murder. And still and yet, it took over a decade to free Mr. Johnson from prison. People are shocked at the fact that he is not going to be able to sue the state of Missouri due to the fact that DNA evidence is not what exonerated him from the crime. A confession exonerated him from the crime. But let's talk about
Why is she making there should make a bunch of 1-minute videos like this?
other states that you can't sue if you're wrongfully incarcerated. Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Delaware, Georgia, Kentucky, New Mexico, North Dakota,
Right?
Oregon, Pennsylvania,
Same.
South Carolina, South Dakota, and
Fucking
Wyoming.
weird.
And let's not forget that we have hundreds of thousands of people currently sitting in prison for things they never even did. 2 people a day go to jail for a crime they did not commit. I am glad to see Mr. Johnson thriving and living his best life. He was released in March. Y'all, but I could not wait
She just was making 1-minute videos like that. This is a fucking fluorescent shirt. I thought bright colors were of Satan and the devil, Brooke.
to get home to talk about this. Let's just jump into it. I've been talking about immigration for 3 years.
Oh my god, 3 years. She's been just going since 2020. I've just been talking about immigration for 3 years. Oh. So this is like why her content didn't get fucking kickstarted, I guess.
All of the predictions that I've made have came true. Every single one of them.
Got ESP.
We're currently facing a housing crisis in America. We don't have enough houses for the citizens of this country, but yet we've had over 8 million people cross our borders. Now, I went to go look and see what incentives or deterrents we actually have, and we have 0 deterrents for crossing that border. It's only incentives.
What? I don't know about
The
that.
governor of Massachusetts has come out asking the citizens of Massachusetts, the homeowners, that have worked their ass off to get the property that they have to host illegal immigrants. Massachusetts officials are seeking residents willing to host newly arrived families in need of shelter. Hosts are asked to provide a room, apartment, or home until longer accommodations can be arranged. How dare you? The audacity to make a mess at that border and then ask the citizens who literally have no control over the situation to clean up your political bullshit. Because that's what they're doing. Why is the governor not hosting a family? And matter of fact, why is any politician that's lining their pockets with dirty money, these big ass mansions, why are they not hosting families? And matter of fact, if you want to host a family, let me know. If you think that southwest border needs to be open, let me know, because I'm pretty sure I can make accommodations for that to happen. Let's see what
Brooke could just make a comment. Okay.
she had to say. Quote, this is the governor. Quote, if you have an extra room or suite in your house, please consider hosting a family. Safe housing and shelter is of pressing need.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
End quote. Miss Kim, why don't you host a family?
Maybe they are. I don't fucking know. I don't speak to politicians. I'm not even American, bro.
Now
That's why I think it's silly. I think some people expect me to, like, stick up for Americans all the time or some shit. Like, they would ever stick up for me. So I don't know. I don't really have a dog in this fight, bro. I know that a lot of bad shit's going on, and I feel bad. But I don't get, like, it's not my place to fight Brooke on American politics.
It's not just Hispanics that are coming over that border, y'all. There's people that are taking boats from other countries, Africa, Syria, you name it. They go to Mexico and they cross.
You're a Newfoundlander? That was Newfoundland.
That way. And like I said, there's zero deterrence. Zero. Actually, there's a federal
Newfies are their own breed of Canadian.
law that states that no school can discriminate against a child despite their immigration status. So, incentives. Now, we all know I'm no far righter. I'm no far lefter. I actually despise Trump. I don't like him.
Really? Really? I'm 100% changed.
But one thing that is a freaking fact is he had that border under control. And matter of fact, he's saying that if he wins the 24 election, that in January, his first day back in office, that he will instruct the federal government to deny citizenship to children whose parents are not citizens. Anchor babies are a big problem. Once again, another incentive.
Yeah, I don't think it's a kid's fault where the fuck they were born.
And I don't know if y'all know this,
eyeball.
but actually our border is the only open border in the world due to the fact that it's unsafe, security issues. And the media is out here saying that it's not a problem when it actually is. U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
They're the guy that, like, illegally crossed the border into Canada. Nasty Nathaniel. America's the only border.
Had over 211,000 encounters on the southwest border in April of this year. That was up 10% than the prior month. So it is an issue, and it's continually progressing. Texas is spending $850 million annually due to migrants who cross the border without proper documentation. The resources that we are using. I don't know. I'm not hosting no damn family in my house. I work my ass off for my home, and I'll be damned.
Oh, so this is her house? What happened to your house? This is the house he gave to Uncle Randy? Supposedly, for to believe her bullshit?
I'll be damned if somebody is in my house that I don't know who they are or their history. If you want to host a family, let me know in the comments. What do y'all think about this? Do you think that it's okay to ask the citizens of a country who had no control over that situation to have illegals in their home? Because I don't. I think it's crazy. Y'all have a good day. So yesterday I went and finished my last session of laser tattoo removal.
Like, you have a lot of tattoos. What? When
I got clean 4 years ago.
Yeah, they're all still there. I can see them on your arm. What are you talking about?
Something that really bugged me was the fact that it looked like ink. It was as dark as this, and it was all up and down the backs of my hands. As you can see, they're red right now because I had the tattoo removal process done yesterday. I have some swelling going on in my wrist. Now this will take about a week to heal. And it pretty much removed all of the leftover drugs that were stuck underneath my skin that
Oh, the leftover drugs. So it's not tattoo removal. It's fucking like heroin shit removal. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, I fucking hate that shit. I don't know why. I don't like needles. So I don't want to think about heroin getting stuck under your skin. That sounds terrible.
that never made it into my body. And it was horrible. It really took my confidence away. And for the first year of sobriety 4 years ago,
I don't even know it was a thing. Like, I don't want to look it up, right? Like, fuck that.
I wore long sleeves
don't wanna
everywhere
see
due to
that.
the fact that I was embarrassed. Even the backs of my hands, I would use makeup to cover these marks up. And it completely ruined my confidence. But I just want y'all to know that there is a procedure out there that can help with these marks. And it's called laser tattoo removal. I just realized that some of y'all are probably like, how did you even get hired back at the winery after she fired you for being a felon?
Yeah, I don't know, because we don't have any other videos from this time frame. Like, this is literally like the only ones from 2023. I haven't found a Facebook with posts from 2023. There's Facebooks with posts from like 2017 is where it ends. And then there's the Honest Heather saga, which is like 2017. And then there's a huge content gap up until these points. So I don't know. I guess people would be wondering that you get rehired. And she's throwing like an iMessage. After researching, it states within the last 3 years, what is the date of the felony? And he's like, Dana, I've been used and abused since 17 years old. Maybe she'll just read this. Maybe I don't have to read it.
So she did. She fired me for being a felon after I told her when she hired me that I was a felon, and she let me work for a month or two after I told her. It was kind of weird how
In overalls in this one.
this happened the same day that I had to deal with cops and my abuser, and it was just a lot, you know? It was kind of weird.
So the fucking Uncle Randy was her abuser back at this point in time, but she still had her house. So at some point, if, like I said, if we're to believe her story, she gave her house to her abuser. Like, she had already recognized that he's an abuser at this point, but he somehow ended up with her house that she's in right now.
Anyway, she texted me and said, how long ago was your felony? And I said it was 2000.
My abuser and her know each other. ! So I never felt safe talking to anyone. I felt like they was all digging for info to send me back to him. I'm not living like that. The fuck you talking about?
2009, and she said, well, you can still work for us. And I told her everything that I was going through. And they offered.
Okay, so she didn't read it. I'm okay, I'm just trying to be honest with you because I know how it looks from the outside. Here's the thing, I just want to move my shit and get the fuck out of this fucking town? I don't know. Dana says, I'm sure we can help you. We know he is abusive. We know his past. We were just trying to be nice to you. He should be charged. You can move your tiny house over here. So she was living in a tiny house? And Dana was offering her to move her tiny house to her property? Is this my understanding? I just got done moving my third load of belongings into storage, and then this is covered up because of her fucking. I'm trying to read through the writing here. I can't read that though. I've already posted my tiny house. Like, she's selling the tiny house.
To help me. Here's the thing, you guys. This lady is suffering from alcoholism, and it's a sad thing. And I've been on.
This lady was trying to help you, and even believed your story, and it's convinced apparently that Uncle Randy is an abuser.
On that road before. We know that I have my history.
There we go. My ass is moving to the Keys, if possible, this year. I've already posted my time. Okay, so that was her plan? Like, get the fuck out of Dodge and just live in a car? And she must be in a tiny home? She had a lot of nice things at that tiny home.
With addiction, and that is my main focus in life, is to stay clean. I do not think it's healthy for me to take help from somebody who needs help themselves.
The thing with Brooke, though, is like she's pretty much doxed everybody who she says she's had a problem with. So I'm also wondering if this is like those videos are just from Dana's house. You know what I mean? Like from the winery, Dana from the winery. Because that was the person who she was house sitting and dog sitting for at one point. And if they were talking back then, and she's already posted the tiny house, then I don't know.
And as you can see, she says, I know your abuser. We know his past. He should be charged. I can move my tiny house over there to her house so that she can work me to death, treat me like shit when she's drunk, walk all over me. Yeah, because I'm living on her property then, you know?
I didn't get that vibe from this at all.
You know? Yeah, that would be fucking phenomenal, right? And as I said,
I'm just into working. It was 2009 when I had my felony bullshit that follows me. Randy knows that he has used it against me for 20 years. I'm getting my shit and I'm done with him. Yeah, it sounds like this is just a bad relationship. And maybe like he supplied her money and drugs or whatever, but I don't know. You got to take accountability. You got to take responsibility for your own decisions as well at the end of the day. It's no reason for me to dwell over it. I'm dealing with the consequences of my own actions. I'll be fine. And then I guess they were like, so will you be in Saturday?
I'm a realist. I'm not.
Are you working Saturday? She said, yes, I could be there. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry. I've been asleep.
Dwelling on the past. I have no resentments towards anyone, if anything.
Then is this Saturday when they're like, where are you? And she's like, I'm out of town.
It would be phenomenal to
move your big head, Brooke.
hear one day that this lady has stopped drinking, because I can tell that she's hurting. I just think
I'm sure we can help you. Okay, well, we did read these ones. I asked her to move the keys. I've already posted my tiny house for sale. It's $8,000. So she sold her house for $8,000. If you know anyone that would like to purchase it, let me know. The title is in my name. Said, okay, again, I think you should stand up to him. Sex trafficking is against the law. I hate men like, I'm assuming men like that. So was he actually doing that? Or are they just believing Brooke's stories?
that it's important for me to work places where I don't have to have a lot of drama. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I know that it's possible because I've had jobs before that didn't have drama and all of this extra stuff with it, you know? And I really appreciate them, but at the same time, I just hope the best for her in that place.
Yeah. Well, that was actually like some information I didn't know about before. It wasn't just her ranting on a laptop. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot more context. It's confusing. I got more questions now. But that, I don't feel like I just wasted time tonight. I went to bed really early last night. I was gonna take a nap and I just fucking slept until 2 a.m. So I was like, I might as well do something with my fucking time. And now I feel like it's been somewhat productive learning that.
Yo, I'm gonna make this quick. And
this is she now homeless?
The reason I'm making this video is because apparently I'm the only one that gives a crap that the FBI recently, yesterday, came out and said that there are terrorists on American soil who are going to coordinate a series of 15 to 20 different attacks on the same day at the same time on American soil.
I don't remember this happening.
The FBI also said in the same breath that if you do not have any survival supplies, that they would recommend that you get things like water, batteries, MREs, dry food, a generator, gasoline, first aid kits, any medical supplies that you can find, or medicines. Yeah, they're warning us. And no news outlets are talking about it. I've seen one other guy talk about this. Now, if you know me personally, or you've met me before, then you know that I take these issues seriously due to the fact that I probably have PTSD from 9/11. My mother...
What do you mean? What are you talking about? You were like, how old would Brooke been? 13 or 14? And you weren't in New York? So what are you talking about?
Knew that that was a terrorist attack before the second building was hit. She knew.
Who knew? You knew? Who? She knew? Who
And
is
whatever
she?
you want to call it, intuition, gut instinct, whatever.
She just referred to herself in the third person?
I have that now. I call it my sixth sense. I'm not a very smart woman, but even Ray Charles could see that we have set ourselves
Then Ray Charles could see.
up for failure over a period of 5 or 6 generations. Economically,
Ray Charles was blind.
we're seeing that, Our military is pretty much non-existent, especially when you look at other militaries. In 1973, we had a little over 700,000 reserves. We currently have 76,000. If you have a bunker or a basement, I would advise to start cleaning that out and setting that up for worst case scenario. I have started doing that myself. For about a year, I've been collecting MREs and dry food storage. About 6 months ago, I started collecting weapons.
You started collecting weapons?
I was bred for this.
She thought she's gonna have to fight a bunch of people. I don't know what the fuck's up with this tiny home, but I don't think Brooke ever owned this other house she's referring to. Based off her records.
World War III has already started, y'all. And the FBI
I think I'm hearing about World War III too. Like, fuck, whatever.
coming out and all of their statements this week are telling y'all that. Now, there's 4 or 5 statements that are on their website. You can also find them on Google and YouTube. I would advise not to watch the ones on YouTube because they're like so damn censored, you know what I mean? Like,
Politics is literally like ruining the world, man. Like, for real. For real. What are we supposed to do? What is the average person supposed to do? Just sit there and be worried 24/7? What the fuck is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't I'm not even gonna get into it.
like this might get censored. And matter of fact, while I got y'all on the line, let me show you exactly who this terrorist organization is because I can't say the name,
Oh. Why can't we say the name?
but I can show y'all.
Okay. I can't read that. It's backwards. Really fucking hold on. I can show you this backwards fucking thing.
And I want you guys to do your own research on who these people are, where they came from, what their mission is. Like, it's wild. These people are on American soil with the intention of committing terrorist attacks in multiple cities all in one day to take out our infrastructure, to ruin our water, to take away our,
Who told her this?
technology, to take away our power, to kill us. To kill us. It's almost as if society forgets that there are multiple countries out there that want to see us destroyed. We are not only the biggest and best nation on earth, but we're the most hated nation on earth.
I wonder why. I wonder why that would have happened.
Now, some of these cities include Los Angeles, California, San Diego, California, San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Orlando, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. These are all on the watch list. And there's more. You can find that list through the FBI's website. And I would advise for you to stay the hell out of these cities. And if you live there, I'm so sorry.
You know, it's people like Brooke that is probably the reason why so many other countries hate America. And it's true. Like, a lot of countries hate America. Because there's a lot of people like Brooke. You know, I used to think, you know, Brooke's not a fair representation of the average bear in America, but just based off of like the election results and like all of Brooke's followers and all of the fucking riffraff I have to deal with during the daytime hours, yeah, I think America is fucked. Like, I understand the resentment towards America.
The FBI also, in their press conference, a different one this week, addressed a draft. And wouldn't you know it? Oh, God. Gen Z wants to know if they're going to be drafted. Of course you're going to be fucking drafted. If you're between the ages of 18 and 25, it's coming, honey. And no, you cannot wear your dress and heels on the front line. I just want y'all to picture this. Gen Z on the front lines fighting a war. Because that's what's coming, and we're already in the middle of it. It started with Ukraine. We are actively in the middle of World War III. And when these attacks start to happen, we're going to see a great divide. That divide has already started. We have certain people that want to, you know, support Israel, and we have certain other people that want to support a terrorist organization. And I've never said this before, but I stand with God's people. I was recently in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and while in Chapel Hill...
Why would they dream about living in America? What incentive to live in America? Oh, it's like you go bankrupt every time something bad happens to you. Like you gotta go to the hospital. Fucking everyone owns a firearm so you can get shot. But crazy people like Brooke live there. Like I said, the election results.
At a prestigious college, UNC, I couldn't help but notice all of the Palestinian flags. The war has already started. And if you are not prepared, you will be left behind. So I advise that y'all get out and start building your bunkers and purchasing everything you're going to need to survive, because the FBI has given us a fair warning. And news stations, journalists are not even telling y'all. That's why I'm here. That's why I started this channel, because it is alarming that the FBI is telling us that we're going to be attacked and it's not being reported on. Y'all stay safe out there. I love y'all. I wanted to do this little TED Talk. Oh, one last thing.
This little TED Talk from outside of my truck in the woods.
I really have a question because I can't find any information online. And by the way, I don't know much, y'all. I state time and time again, like, I'm learning all of this stuff, but what I do know is from history. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I would be able to go on the draft, but that is my question because I can't find out. Now, I am a felon. I have 2 counts of attempted murder on my record. I'm just saying that should qualify me for the draft. Dead ass.
She wants to go be a soldier now?
My only surviving blood relative is in the Middle East right now. 4 of my very closest allies are in the Middle East right now. I have 5 people over there. I would rather be over there with them fighting for a purpose than...
I don't know, Roman, of always, not forever. I live in Canada and I've lived in America, so I'm just gonna like, you're out.
And over here, turning into a sheep.
Yeah, she stabbed 2 ladies and tried to kill them. Unless, I don't know, I just saw attempted murder. I assume somebody's mentioned her attempting murder, or maybe she said it. I don't know.
We are at a very pivotal...
I tune her out when she's like this.
...crossroads in our history. And it's some scary shit. And y'all see where I am. Out in the woods.
Fucking Roman, everyone wants to live in America. You want to live in America. You've never lived in another country. Suck my fucking dick.
And this is where I will be. Until the dust is settled. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. I love you guys. Stay safe out there. Go buy you a generator, some MREs, and
sell your tiny home.
Stay vigilant. Bye, y'all. So I'm kind of rough right now. That's not what's important. What's important is that I am alive, I am well, and I am safe. I want to talk to you guys. So I ended up checking myself into a mental health facility last.
Oh, the mental health facility that we read the review about. I still have that. I still have this all the reviews like right at the go here. I was thinking about making it actually just like a video because reading can be hard sometimes. There's a lot to read, so if I edit it together, it'd probably be better. And then I was thinking about trying to find videos from those dates that the reviews were posted, or at least the times of when they happened. So this would be like one of those. Like this would be her telling us about the experience, well, from the Google review. At least she went to the mental hospital another time, and she's talking about that.
Last week, I've been suffering with. I'm not doing this. I'm not crying. I've been suffering with anxiety. My ADHD since I got sober has just like come to a head. And it's so bad that I'm having like manic episodes where like mania, like I can't sleep, my anxiety. I now know that it's mania. I now realize that I'm suffering from insomnia, from stress. I went to this retreat. It was a mental health retreat. They referred me to, they said I needed a higher level of care. So they referred me to Chapel Hill. So I walk into Chapel Hill on my own accord. Sorry, my lips are dry. It's like 20 degrees outside. You know what? My makeup looks really good and you guys can't even tell because that cheap ass Android. Anyways, my iPhone.
That's what it is. So she had an Android back then too.
I can't film on it. It just kicked the bucket. I've had it for less than a year and it won't let me take pictures. That's why I don't fuck with Apple. But
all of this really aged back.
Anyways, I walk into the hospital on my own accord. I tell them as I'm going in, they said, "Are you allergic to anything?" And I said, "Xanax. Don't put me on Xanax or anything like it because it makes me psychotic and I will attempt to hurt you." Oh, God, y'all. The last time that I took a Xanax, I almost killed 2 people. Those are the 2 felonies that are on my record. I do not take anything like Ativan, Xanax, Klonopin, any of those drugs. I don't know what it is, but I black out and I go plumb psychotic. It has the opposite effect. When I initially went into the hospital, I told them, like, hey, I only
Xanax is like
get depressed, like, right before my period or when I'm ovulating. So twice a month, I have really severe depression, but I've already been diagnosed with PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. That disorder is one of the, like, it's so bad, y'all, when it comes to how you feel about yourself. You get body dysmorphia and it happens like right before your period and you want to die and you think that, you know, the world is a bottomless hellish pit and you can't see the good in anything. Now, I was diagnosed with PMDD a little less than 4 years ago. When I got clean off of heroin, I decided to start taking care of my mental health. And I have a lot of trauma that has happened to me. Even stuff as recent as this past month. You know, I just left an abusive, toxic, damaging
relationship. Can we say relationship? What is she going to define this as? How is she going to position this?
Codependent relationship.
Good thing you brought this up. I had to go double check just to make sure that this wasn't another fucking mental place. So when we go to her review, I'm just going to put her over here for a sec so you guys can see better. When we go to her review, it was for the UNC Inpatient Psychiatric Clinic. If we go there, it is located in Chapel Hill. So this, I'm pretty sure this is the one that she's talking about. It only gets 3 stars and 1 star. Sorry, it's only got 1 star from 3 ratings. But I can't imagine that like people who get sent to the mental hospital or go to the mental hospital are really like, I don't know, happy. Like I don't think anyone wants to be at the mental hospital, right? Or maybe it's just really bad. But yeah, this is the place I think. Or I guess, hold on, what was this? There's a rehab, not for mental health. Let's just see what it is. UNC inpatient psychiatry clinic, psychiatric hospital. Okay, so I wouldn't call that a rehab, but if it's a psychiatric hospital.
That trauma has made a lot of symptoms from my disorders come about, like boil to the surface. And so I knew that I needed to go figure out something, at least, in the very least, to help me sleep, because, you know, taking tons of melatonin and Tylenol PM, it's not good for your liver and kidneys. And I'm taking 100 milligrams a night of fucking melatonin and still can't sleep.
Melatonin doesn't do anything for me.
It was bad. It was really bad, y'all. And it's stress. I know it's stress. I know it's from my ADHD. I know it's from all of the trauma that I've been through. I walk into Chapel Hill. UNC Chapel Hill is supposed to be one of the top hospitals in the country. The best hospital in the state. They have completely thrown out the DSM, which is the diagnosis. Like, that's how you diagnose people. It's the diagnosis manual. And I'm probably saying some of this wrong, but y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. The DSM is how they diagnose patients with things such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, you name it. This is how they diagnose it. And it has all of the symptoms and, you know, all of the things that one would go through that actually has these disorders. Chapel Hill doesn't do assessments. They don't diagnose anyone.
They just give you drugs?
They only throw meds at you. Now, I'm a recovering addict. We all know this. I do not remember anything from Thanksgiving to Monday, November the 27th, I do believe. I don't remember nothing. Because as soon as I went in the hospital, they had me hopped up on Ativan and lithium and Depakote. You name it, they were shoving it down my throat like fucking Skittles. Now, at some point, I become hostile. I warned y'all.
So, why did she, like, who recommended that she go here, I wonder? Or if she just, like, Googled psychiatric hospital and was like, I think I'm gonna go here. Because couldn't she have gone somewhere else? Like, couldn't she have just gone and got a fucking therapist or something? Like, why did she take herself to the psychiatric hospital, I wonder?
Surprise! I told you that Xanax makes me crazy. And then when I go crazy, they want to freak out. Apparently, in my intoxicated state of mind, and I'm talking completely blackout, y'all. I don't remember shit. Something could have happened to me and I wouldn't even remember it. How scary is that? That's really scary.
I should try to find a psychologist and be like, what kind of case studies do you need? I know a lot of fucking crazy people. Like, what are you looking for?
It was only when I threatened to sue them and contacted an attorney that they finally fucking let me go. It's truly unbelievable. They did no assessment. They did no mental health assessment. They didn't even talk to me before they started throwing meds at me and medicating me. Now, I went in perfectly fine and stable. It wasn't like I went in causing a fucking scene. I went in with open arms to getting help for my ADHD and anxiety.
But that's something you would see like a psychiatrist for, or you wouldn't just like walk into a mental hospital and be like, yo, I think I have ADHD. Right? Am I wrong?
4 days later, in my drug-induced state of mind, hopped up on fucking Ativan and God knows what else. Seroquel. I do know that they were giving me enormous amounts of Seroquel and Ativan, and I don't even know what else, y'all. Lithium. It was only on Sunday I started refusing my medicine, and I don't know what state of mind I was in because I don't remember Sunday. But thank God I fucking did that. Thank God. Thank God. Because by Monday night, I was coming to, and I realized, like, these motherfuckers are trying to get me strung out on Xanax. Monday, I set...
Right. She didn't stab anyone on the Xanax, so that's what she blamed the stabbing. Or she's like, I was on Xanax, so I stabbed those girls. It wasn't my fault. It was Xanax's fault.
In a room of doctors, and this was when I really realized I had fucked up. There's 5, 6, 7, 8 doctors in there, and there's this one little doctor, and she says, well, what do you remember? And I said, nothing. I remember nothing. The last thing I remember is walking in here and asking you guys for help with my anxiety. She says, well, we're just going to continue on the medicine we already have you on. So you need to be taking your medicine. This is after she asked me what I remember. And I stated that I don't remember anything, that I'm drawing blanks when I take these medications. And I kept asking, when am I going to get an assessment? I want to know if I'm bipolar. I want to know if I'm schizophrenic. I want to know, you know, if I'm anything other than ADHD. We don't do that. We don't diagnose. That's not really a thing anymore. Do what? I mean, if I'm out of the fucking loop, somebody let me know in the comments. But this sounds...
Back here, she doesn't seem as crazy as she is now. But, I mean, she's still done the most crazy shit in her life before this point. So, I don't know.
So fucking dangerous to me. And I'm not even a fucking doctor. You're just going to throw medicines at a patient who doesn't have schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, and you're going to give them mood stabilizers and medicine that's for schizophrenia and bipolar. Like, make it fucking make sense. I
mean, I agree with her here. I don't think they should be doing that. If that's what they did without even fucking having a conversation with her, then that's fucked up and that's crazy. I don't trust doctors. I don't like them. I only go to the hospital if it's like absolutely necessary. Because fuck that shit. I don't know.
Dangerous is that? Because I think that's extremely dangerous and stupid. We're not going to diagnose you with anything. We're just going to stick a Band-Aid over it, get you addicted, make you have to go spend money on a prescription every month. And 2 years from now, when those medications stop working, we'll bring you back to the psych ward and try something new.
That's a good point, Andrea. If she doesn't remember anything, how would she know if she got an assessment or not? I just like, if that's actually how this psychiatric hospital is running, that's fucking crazy to me. And I hope it's not running like that. I just can't see that being the case. Maybe this is why America is so crazy.
You know what? This kind of ties in to another...
You're gonna make me into a conspiracy theorist. Big Pharma is just ruining people. For what? I don't really know.
Video I'm going to be doing. While I was in there, Monday, when I finally come to, I started working on my end of semester project, and I had the pleasure of reading this whole book. As you see that, I could only have a crayon.
Oh, she got the DSM-5 or whatever it is.
They gave me a pen at the end, y'all, but apparently Brooke lost her shit on the psych ward. I mean, I told you not to give me Xanax or Ativan or anything like that. It's all the same shit. Anyways, my point is, I got the pleasure of reading The Right Side of History. And in this
Right Side of History
book, he warns us. This book was written in 2019. I really want to know how Mr. Shapiro saw all of this shit coming, but he called it. Everything.
It's Ben Shapiro's book? Oh, God. What? You know, Ben Shapiro is like maxed out on fucking Adderall, right? Like, I don't, okay. Whatever.
From the medical field to public schools are fucked. I don't understand. Logic is out the fucking window nowadays, y'all. I never thought that I would reach a point in my life where I'm the person saying, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to use mental health meds as a Band-Aid. Maybe we ought to figure out where the problem is actually stemming from, and then...
Is it crazy that I thought she was highlighting things in the DSM-5 to show this mental hospital? She got Ben Shapiro's fucking book and literally with a crayon started circling things in it and was like, look what you did to me. This doesn't even make sense, Brooke. I don't even know if this book is about fucking medication.
Medicate from there. When they told me that they don't even use the DSM anymore, I was like a fucking raccoon trying to fight my way out of a paper sack trying to get out of there. I knew that I was not going to get any help, that they wanted to put me on medication. Narcotics. I am a recovering addict. They wanted to put me on narcotics.
I'm just so confused. Why does she have Ben Shapiro's book right now?
It's all about money.
You know you gave Ben Shapiro money for that book, right?
The people that were there for the longest, ironically, were the people that had insurance. Ben warned us.
Fucking wacky.
And it's kind of crazy that this book correlates with what I experience trying to get mental health.
The crayons in it is a
lot
really
of
good...
people are not going to understand.
That's a really good cherry on top. Y'all only got a crayon. Like, they definitely probably thought she was insane at that point.
Why I don't want to be on Xanax or Ativan or Klonopin or anything like that. But I'm here to tell you that they could have just fucked up my recovery. Because Monday, Tuesday, and today, I've had cold sweats from all of the Ativan and all of the medicines that they had me on last week. I've been having withdrawal symptoms. The downfall of society it started years ago. My experience in the mental health aspect that I just went through, that really scares me for the future of anyone trying to get help. I don't understand why they would risk putting me on something like that when I distinctively said, hey, I get violent. The last time I took these substances, these pills, I almost killed 2 people. And had no
Did they, make her take them? Like, couldn't she ask, hey, what are these pills? And they'd be like, that's Xanax. And she'd say, I'm not putting that in my mouth. Did they made her take it or what? Like, I thought she was there voluntarily. She couldn't leave until she did all the drugs and read Ben Shapiro's book and freaked out and ran away.
recollection of any of it. I don't remember the fight.
She doesn't have insurance, but she was able to get her lawyers involved.
I don't remember anything. All I know is that it's really sad that now I signed myself out. I signed myself in and I signed myself out. And they were not going to let me go until I contacted an attorney. That scared them. When I asked them for my attorney's number and I told them his name and I called him, I was out less than 24 hours later. There are people who are actively stuck there, one of which is a college student who her mother is fighting to get her out. She is so doped up on the stuff they're giving her that she falls asleep while freaking eating. This is a sophomore that attends UNC Chapel Hill. She is a student who lives in a dorm in Chapel Hill. And she was stressed out about end of semester, testing and winter break and all of that. It's a lot. I can only imagine for a medical student. I can't imagine. But a little bit of depression doesn't mean that you medicate till they're incoherent. Like, It's crazy, y'all. I don't understand how it's even fucking legal. I don't understand how they haven't been sued before. I don't understand why there wasn't an attempt to help me, get me assessed. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm just glad that whatever state that I was in Sunday night, that I stopped taking those medications. I lost 9 pounds when I was in there. So I don't know what was going on, because obviously I was under the influence and completely black out mentally. But obviously I was not eating and drinking because I lost 9 damn pounds in less than a week.
It makes me want to go to a mental hospital and just see like what they do. It's Canada, so it's probably different. But then there's also like there's no way of me documenting it, right? There's no point in doing anything unless I can document it. Then I was thinking of ways that I could document it without them knowing. I don't think there is. Because like even if I had like let's say a camera in my glasses or something, right? That fed to like it's an IP camera, like it would just get broadcast to the internet. So I wouldn't have to worry about like memory or anything. I'd still have to charge the battery. Like, how would I do that? I couldn't. I'd have to, like, there's no technology that exists where I could, like, go into a mental hospital for a week and document the process. So there's just no point in doing it.
It's so scary. I went there to get help, and they almost sent me right back out into using drugs. I mean, you know, if I would have got addicted to like Ativan or something, it would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap. If I would have left that hospital with a prescription for Xanax, I would have been using drugs within a week. Heroin. I'm not the type of person that needs to be taking anything that is a narcotic. And it's sad when I'm the fucking voice of reason saying that. And I have 5, 6, 7, 8 doctors who are over me, supposed to be ensuring my safety. And they failed to do so. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
UNC, there we go. What is that?
Now, I have an appointment. My therapist, Stephanie, has got me hooked up with some better resources. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll keep you guys in the loop. But, you know, I've been through a lot of trauma recently, and it's hard for me to even admit that I'm a victim. One good thing that finally came out of this is that I was able to file a report, and potentially my abuser will be arrested. So
what? Why do we have to go through this? Can we have done that without doing this? I don't think Randy ever got arrested either.
That is one good thing. They're trying to figure out if it would be federal because he carried me across state lines into Virginia, or if it would be, you know, like local. You know what I mean? Like
I think she needs to watch Requiem for a Dream. Since she learned about that. Requiem for a Dream, but she doesn't know how to fucking pronounce Requiem. Because, like, I think maybe that is, like, her and Randy's situation. Like, they were just a couple who were addicted to heroin, and maybe they resorted to, I don't know, not the best ways to make money, but I think Brooke was complicit in it. I don't think she did anything against her will. I think she just wanted drugs. You know what I mean? She needs to watch Requiem for a Dream.
If it would be federal charges or local charges.
Just based of all of her stories put together. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. Why wouldn't he have gotten fucking charged with anything?
It's just, you know, it's a lot, y'all, and it's a lot for me to admit. And it's hard to talk about these things. But I just wanted to be kind of transparent with y'all that this is what I'm going through currently. I'm stressed. I'm fucking stressed. It seems like the better I do for myself, the worse my life gets, and it makes no fucking sense. but I'm going to continue to stay clean.
Might have missed that. She dropped the charges on Randy for a car payment? Nah, really? I can see her doing that. I just don't remember that.
And that includes all the fucking mental health drugs. Like, Jesus, that was fucking scary. That is a slippery slope, you guys. I don't know what would have happened to me if I wouldn't have refused those medications on Sunday night. Because I refused those medications, by Monday night, I was finally coming back into my body. That's not something to fucking play with. But I am well. And I love y'all. And y'all let me know in the comments if it makes sense to just shove pills down a person's throat rather than...
It's weird. All of Brooke's simps... Well, I think there's like two categories of Brooke simps. Either liberal surfers, which I don't fucking understand what the hell you see in Brooke, or just like really fat, gross old men. I don't know what they have in common. I don't know where the Venn diagram is overlapping that shit, but somewhere they just love Brooke.
Assess the problem. Figure out if they're suffering from something like, say, schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Tell me if it makes sense to you, because I'm just saying it seems a little ass backwards to me. Y'all be safe out there. I absolutely love y'all, and please pray for me.
Uncle Randy is her abuser that she says isn't her family sometimes. But I don't think he's family. I don't know. She said all her family's dead.
Me, because I'm always praying for you guys. Bye. Y'all, we gotta talk about this because this is so outlandish. I truly can't believe it. So all four of these fucking rays of sunshine down here were just arrested for ritualistic. Y'all know what I mean. Acts against animals and other people. So the female and her uncle had 2 husbands, but there was 3 husbands altogether because she was dating her uncle as well. So this woman has 3 husbands, one of which is a family member, and then they con other people into this relationship where one of which had ADHD and autism. How willing can a person with a disability like that be? I'm talking about the autism. I guess it kind of depends on where you fall on the spectrum, you know? Now, all of them are in jail. The girl specifically was charged with first-degree R-word, ritualistic acts, and aggravated battery.
Oh, she can say it there.
It's just crazy. They were sacrificing animals, y'all. One of the victims, the boy that had autism, come forward stating that he was presented with a puppy and then expected to sacrifice that puppy to Satan, essentially. The victim was told that he was to denounce Christianity. Hold up, I think you're running in the wrong...
James subscribed to Vikingism?
...direction, you know?
It's always a James.
So these people invite 2 different people, one of which that had autism, into this polyamorous relationship, and the next thing you know, they're expecting their victims to worship the devil like they do. I mean, it's just... What? What? I mean, generally speaking, if I was to see them in public, I would walk the other way. This woman got 3 husbands, and I can't even find one.
I would assume the... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought she meant she couldn't find this woman's husband, so I was like, I'm pretty sure it's these guys. But Brooke's like, I can't find a husband. I don't... Yeah, I know, man. I don't know. Do you argue you want a husband, Brooke? You could probably get one. There's lots of Sims.
Good one. I want a good one, not one that practices witchcraft. So recently...
I don't want a husband that practices witchcraft. No, this isn't new. This is, let me see what year we're at now. She was in November of 2023. We're in December 2023 now.
Recently, there was a video that went viral of this man, Trevor Morris, being interrogated by 2 other inmates in a detention center in Columbia, South Carolina. And as I'm watching this video that I'm not going to show here because it talks about his crimes and it will get flagged on my channel, people were asking if it was true that he was stabbed over 40 times in South Carolina. And I am here to tell you that Trevor is now deceased. In 2018, Trevor made, produced, and distributed child porn.
However, Trevor was let out on bond. Yeah, and in 2019, while he was still awaiting trial for these child porn allegations, he committed an attempted attempted M-word.
So this is back when she was trying to, like, I don't know, keep her channel. This is pre-monetization. Why is she censoring herself before she was monetized?
While he's in prison in Columbia, South Carolina, 2 other inmates confront him and they capture it all on video, which is the video that went viral. Now, these inmates were questioning Trevor as to whether or not it was a boy or a girl that he, created these graphic images of. And it's absolutely astonishing to see this man result to, like, childlike behavior as he's being questioned about harming children. It's really wild to me how these cowards cannot take adult confrontation. Now, in my opinion, this was a clear assassination, and I'm not the only one that feels that way. Something that I can tell you, since I spent 5 years in prison, in maximum security prison with lifers, this is a lifer that doesn't give a fuck. They were trying to eliminate a problem because they knew that Trevor would be back, because everything that I've learned about Trevor shows that everyone knew that he was a weirdo from elementary school to fucking high school, and nobody said anything. They saw it, but they didn't say anything.
Well, sometimes people are just weird. It doesn't mean that, like, they're gonna be serial killers or whatever. You can't just assume that every weird person is gonna go out killing people.
Whoever killed him will be protected by the prison system, the COs, and inmates. Good.
I mean, I think that guy sounds pretty crazy, so he should be in jail. Someone tried to assassinate him? I don't fucking know. I tuned Brooke out in the news.
Good morning, my sunshines. I hope everybody is doing well out there. I'm Brooke, and I live out of my car full time, and I needed to talk to you guys because at this point, I can't find a job, and I don't know what to do because I've literally filled out every single application on Indeed, Snag a Job.
Maybe you shouldn't have burned all your bridges with previous employers. Maybe they're checking your references, calling up Dana, and Dana's like, I offered her to, like, come live on my land with her tiny home. She told me to go fuck myself and that I was an alcoholic and everything. And then she just didn't show up to work. You know what I mean? Maybe they call all the fucking strip clubs. They're like, she's the worst fucking stripper I've ever dealt with, and I've dealt with some people. Maybe it's that. Maybe that's what's hindering her.
Hot
What's going on, Maria?
Jobs and ZipRecruiter. I'm talking, I've done over 200 interviews, y'all, and not one callback. Like, nobody will give me a fucking chance because I'm a felon. And this is exactly why people end up going back to prison, because society won't allow them a fucking shot at trying to be a good person. Why is it? I genuinely need to know, why is it that if I was still sticking needles in my arms, that I could have everything made? If I would just go back to using drugs and comply, then I wouldn't have to worry about anything. I mean, it truly upsets me so much. And at this point, I've spent over $16,000 looking for a job, and I've not had one callback. And here's the thing. I always ask them, do you hire felons? And they say, just come in. We'll talk about that when you get here. So then I drive an hour to that fucking interview, waste $40 to fucking get there in gas and to get back. And they tell me as soon as I walk in, hey, I talked to my uppers and we can't hire you because you're a violent offender.
Yeah. This description is fucking hella long. What the hell? I've been searching for a job since June of 2023. That's when, like, life was going good. She had a house, she had a job, but she just got finicky? I don't know. She's just like, fuck this shit. I want to go live in a car.
20 years ago. It was 2009. And it was actually 2008 when I was actually charged. So, like, dude, it's not been quite 20 years, but I round off.
Going on about cheeseburgers in the description. What the fuck? Hold on. I gotta show you guys the description of this video. It's wacky. So this is the description. I'm just skimming through it, and then I seen where the fuck is it? I order a plain cheeseburger and somehow they mess that up. I am more qualified for any position that I apply for and I have much more potential for growth. Yet here I am wanting to learn and I'm waiting to be a better person, becoming a better person intrinsically, but society says, screw you, 100 emoji. I've done 12 interviews in 3 days here in Jacksonville, blah, 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 blah. It's just all over the place, man. She's just like pissed. She's pissed. I was working 5 jobs and going to school. Sacre bleu.
And it feels like it's been a fucking, like, 5 decades ago. And I don't know what to do. Just this morning, I've filled out 23 applications, and some of which include Zoe's Kitchen, IHOP, Mellow Mushroom, Wendy's. Y'all, like, I'm more than qualified for these positions. Like,
She could be a spokesperson for Wendy's. Why don't you try to get, like, a commercial being Wendy from Wendy's?
Can't even put into words. Popeye's Waffle House. I've literally filled out everything that, Sonic Drive-In, like, that was one of my first jobs.
It's pretty bad when, like, Brooke is so abrasive, you don't want to even just stick her in the back washing dishes or shit, because she's not going to get along with all the other employees.
Here's the thing, I'm more than qualified for these jobs, and I know this because of the lack of actual customer service when you should be getting customer service and you're paying for an expensive-ass meal nowadays. Has anyone been out to eat lately? Since COVID, the service industry has went down the fucking drain. I have integrity. I'm hardworking. I will be the best employee that you ever had if you just give me a shot. I don't understand how I've done over 200 interviews. I've spent, when I talk about how much money I've spent, the majority of it is gas. All of it is gas. I threw my oil change in there, which was $140, 2 of them. But we're talking, I've put, tens of thousands of miles on my vehicle looking for a job since June of 23, and we are in December of 23, and I have not had one callback. And I don't understand why it's this hard. What if I didn't have the resources to look for a job and spend all of that money on gas? This is exactly how people get out of prison and try to go down the right path and try to become better people so that they don't end up back in prison. But society will not allow them.
I hate birds. The birds are up. Fuck me, man. You know what that means? It means, like, people are gonna get up soon. I hate people. I hate people so much, man.
Opportunity to prove themselves.
I have to smoke.
So they
Get ready for this the worst day ever. It's gonna be the worst day ever today.
Crime. And doing illegal shit because they have to survive and eat.
Might be right back.
Something that I've never put into perspective for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Is how HT rings will give young girls access to money and vehicles with all.
But if you see anybody, even, I want to say disagreeing with me. If you see anybody just being a fucking asshole, ban them. I guess that's what I've been doing. People are sick of it. Like, I don't mind. I honestly don't give a shit. But other people have been like, I don't want to even come and chat anymore because of this shit. So, like, just fucking kill them.
All intentions of those young girls getting wrapped up in a life of crime so that they become a felon, so that they allow themselves to continue to get HT'd. Because once you're a felon, you'll never be able to find a normal job or have a normal life. And it sucks. When I can't even give my time away, there is a problem. I have tried to volunteer at homeless shelters and churches, and they have denied me access to do that. I mean, that's just sad. When I can't even go volunteer to serve other people food, or volunteer to clean the homeless shelter, or volunteer for Meals on Wheels, or volunteer to take elderly people to, you know, who are disabled to their doctor's appointments. I can't even fucking volunteer at a church, y'all. I've been applying to jobs at churches, hoping that these good Christian people would give me a shot. I'm either dumb or naive, probably both. I'm trying to figure out, I was going to tell you what jobs I filled out this morning. But, so one of the reasons that I keep coming to the South, like Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, is because I'm hoping that I can find a job out here, because North Carolina immediately tells me no, because they do a statewide background check. A lot of companies, some companies only do a statewide. There's other companies that do a national background check, and they search all the states. And one of the reasons that I've continued to come out here to look for work is in the hopes of just a statewide background check, because I've never committed any other crimes in any other states. All of these crimes stem from being caught up in a human T-ring. All of them. And this is a form of manipulation. It is a tactic that these abusers use and do so that you are trapped in to this ring or to them.
She said she was trying to fucking feed the homeless. I have to doubt that.
In my case, you know.
She's looking for a job. She's not looking to volunteer. She's making it sound like, I'm just this honest, nice person, and the world doesn't want me.
This person wanted me to become a felon, because then I would always have to rely on them. I would always be stuck with them. And I'm not excusing my actions. I absolutely committed my felony. I'm not excusing my actions, but what I'm trying to describe to you guys is how older men will give younger women drugs and money in hopes of them committing crimes and getting in trouble, so that they are stuck in the cycle of abuse. And it really sucks that no one talks about these things, and that's why I am.
What's going on, Tash?
I'm tapped out. I'm emotionally tapped out. When you can't even fucking volunteer your time just to be, I wanted to do that not only to give back, but
to get some drug hookups. I don't know. To deal drugs.
To make new friends and acquaintances that were like-minded, Like, I want to be in that community.
But you could just kind of do that, Brooke. You could go out and talk to the homeless people. You could even, I'm always telling people to recycle. Even though I fucking hate recycling, I think it's a scam. But if you collect cans, like on the road, and you come back to a place, they'll give you money for those cans. And then maybe you could buy like a pizza and give it to the homeless people as your own way of giving back. And then just get to know them that way. You don't need like a middleman or something. Like if this was such something she wanted to strive towards, she could make efforts to do it herself.
And it just sucks. It's not fair.
She's got a huge flatbed. She could put a lot of cans in that flatbed.
I want to tell you guys some of my these are the ones I applied to this morning. Marlin Bar, Moody Enterprises, Escape Restaurant and Bar, Craft Brewery. Look, see, and they ask, are you willing to do a nationwide background check? They all ask this.
Tiffany, it might be because, like, you don't have a cartoon for a picture, and you have a name that's not like, I don't know, I Hate Brooke 2025. So she's like, well, yeah, at least that's a real person. I don't know.
And so my application immediately gets overlooked. If I even get an interview, they then tell me that they won't hire me. Blue Orchard.
See, some people who don't like me, we end up having like a good thing going. Like there was I think it was Reckless Eric. I feel bad. I know that I banned him for something. I'm pretty sure he said just deport everybody. And I was like, okay, well, you're gone now. But when he was just ragging on me for like covering Brooke or I don't know. I can't remember his criticisms off the top of my head. We got along all right. I was like, he's a man of God. He likes Nirvana. And then he was like, oh, I like that. But I can't have fucking racists in my chat.
Panera. Meal site driver. Like, when I was 18 years old, I got in a fight with 2 other women. I was charged with assault charges in North Carolina. I've since reformed myself and regret the choices that I made as a child. I'm a very hardworking and stable person. I take the initiative.
See, 3D's all right. Like this. Obviously, I don't like Brooke like that. But as long as you're not racist or homophobic or like causing problems with other people, then that's fine.
And I do nothing halfway. I'm wonderful with people and have a way with empathy. I enjoy working in the community and dealing with customer service. Cleanliness helps things run smoothly. I have about 7 years of managerial experience, and I've been in the customer service industry for over 20 years. I'm willing to learn and potentially lead. Organization is very important to me. So is communication and teamwork. I understand the importance of customer service because I understand how important customers are. They are the backbone of the industry. Of the industry. Talking about how they pay. Like customers are your backbone of your business. Skills, communication, organization, incentive, customer rapport, hardworking, honest, reliable, stable, flexible, loyal, positive, intuitive, oversight. I'm able to see the bigger picture, and I think that's important to build. I think that it's important to build relationship with your regular customers. I'm very accommodating and will go out of my way to help anyone. I have POS knowledge, great with money, safe serve laws, and labor laws. I'm willing to help anyone. And I'm willing to get Safe Serve certified or do any training certificate programs necessary. I'm willing to fucking pay to do whatever. I'm willing to come out of my own fucking pocket.
Then we can just give the homeless people some food. Like, you could just go buy homeless people some food. You can even make it into a YouTube video, Brooke. Could probably get lots of views because, like, you appear to be helping the community. I don't think she wants to help the community. So that whole crying thing she did earlier, be like, they won't let me volunteer. I don't think that's a bunch of nonsense.
To get certified for your company. Knowledge of labor laws and
know how to cut through meat perfectly.
HR experience. Great being a team player or a team leader. Great customer service skills and dealing with children.
This is either her resume or like just what she emailed an employer.
I feel that I would be a good candidate because I'm looking for a company to grow with. I'm at the age where it's time for me to move up and I would love to get trained in a certain position. This one was for Panera. By Panera to potentially be a manager one.
Okay, so this is like her cover letter. I guess if it's like for each individual place.
I have more initiative than I know what to do with. I'm so accommodating and I will go out of my way to help anyone. The service industry is what makes me happy. Now that's a lie.
Jesus, jumping.
I enjoy serving others. That's true. Like, you know, I'm able to communicate properly and rationally. I go above and beyond when it comes to cleanliness and wholeheartedly understand the safe serve requirements. Quick learner, like, I have a photogenic memory. You will only have to teach me once. Like, I don't understand what I'm saying wrong. If y'all heard something that I'm saying wrong, please tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm very reliable. I'm the type of person that you can call at any time and I will come in. I work well with others and I'm able to separate my personal from work life.
Did she say Mensa? I might have missed that. If she's, I think she's part of Mensa.
I'm a very loyal and morally sound person. I've never stolen my life. I do not have kids, but I work well with them and can assist in any matters on the service industry side when it comes to accommodating them as well. Like, you know, like, it's my record, y'all. It's my record. And it's not fair. There's one for Buffalo Wild Wings. I've done applied to like between 7 and 12 Buffalo Wild Wings. They won't.
So if she's writing, this is interesting that she's showing us her application process, because if she's actually writing these cover letters for each place, there's no way she could be doing as many job applications per day as she's claiming she is, with all the time that she's ranting on stream, and then the amount that she has to sleep and like do other shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. There's no fucking way.
Won't hire me. Ruby Tuesdays won't hire me. Applebee's won't hire me. Red Lobster won't hire me. Longhorn won't hire me. All of those, I've done dozens of interviews each. You know, I mean, here I am trying to be a fucking dishwasher. Got a fucking, that's a, interview. That day, the 19th, I have 6 or 7 interviews on that day. And they're not.
Well, you should prioritize this one, because I don't think they would give a fuck if a dishwasher was a felon, but they might if like those other interviews are for, I don't know, anything in customer service.
Not gonna hire me, like. And you're probably like, well, don't.
I would understand why, especially in like the fast food industry, there's a bunch of high schoolers who need jobs constantly all the time, and they only need like part-time hours. And I think from a company standpoint, it's probably better for them to have a whole bunch of part-time employees than like full-time employees where they'd have to probably give benefits to and stuff. So I wouldn't want to risk Brooke blowing up at one of my customers when I have a whole bunch of other people I could hire who don't want a full-time position, and they're very disposable, and they're not going to try to stab my customers. So you should just do the dishwasher one. You should prioritize that.
Think about it like that, Brooke. Listen, when you've done heard no over 200 times, that's the expectation. And this really sucks. And y'all, I'm genuinely curious as to whether this...
That's how it ends. And now we're in Algeria? I don't know where Algeria is.
This woman is like...
Algeria?
100% real, or if her whole channel is fucking satire, because she's at it again. Last time
What do you mean she's at it again?
she was in Afghanistan, now she's in Gartahia. I'm probably not saying that right. I know where it is, though.
Brooke's investigating. Brooke's exposing this content creator.
Her whole channel seems to be her traveling and trying to express to other Westerners how safe these countries are. The thing is, though, is that most of the countries she's going to are actually not safe. This was my favorite. I traveled to North Korea and the government assigned a guide to me, and he told me the people love Kim Jong-un and have no desire to leave the country. So in this video, she's trying to express that they have resources and outlets for women who are victims of DV. She says that her tour guide told her,
You will be eviled? You will be evil. I mean, it's cut off. What else could it be? Exiled. Probably exiled.
that any man that's caught like abusing his wife is exiled.
Right. That makes more sense than evil.
The comments, y'all. You didn't mention what happens to the woman after the violent husband is exiled. She is shamed for being divorced, left in financial hardship, and forced to remarry.
I vaguely remember Brooke ranting about this one day. She made this into a short. How long ago was this?
Said gullible to assume a tourist guide would tell you any different. Someone pointed out when they...
Where's Brooke been in her life? Jacksonville, North Carolina, right? And I think she grew up in some... Oh, Boston. She grew up in Boston. Her accent makes no fucking sense.
went to Algeria, that they weren't even allowed to talk to the women. someone else
This is December, still 2023.
was talking about how she's tone deaf, obviously. A quick Google search come up with so many hardships that the Algerian women have to go through just because they are women. That's what they tell the tourists. You wouldn't walk there by yourself if you heard the truth. Local guide, more like a government agent. This is shameful reporting, as a woman admitting key facts to make a place sound better than reality is shameful, especially when the reality is so many women suffering. I'm just saying that it's really dangerous to tell Western women that this is a safe place when it's actually not. She gonna have Western women over here getting killed. Let's have a TED Talk this morning, y'all.
This is a recorded video? She missed to make recorded videos from the car like this?
This is my life in a nutshell. Good morning, how are y'all? I'm about 2 minutes from jumping off the fucking Jack's Bridge. Oh my god.
Is this when they called the wellness check-in on her? No. So just another time she said she's gonna jump off the bridge.
Can't anymore. This fucking piece of shit Chevy. Don't buy a Chevy. They're pieces of shit. Goddamn brand new truck. And it's fucking like, I can't even roll the windows up. So I went to dance last night. Let me tell y'all. So I worked at this place called the Wild Bill's Saloon. I made $20, okay, before the manager asked to see my pussy. And when I said...
Oh, this famous story?
When I said... He says, ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. An hour later, I'm on stage doing a 2-set song. First of all, this is not even an actual strip club. It's a bar that has strip poles in it, and they allow girls to come in and dance, even though it's not a strip club. There's no VIP area. You can only make money off of stage dances. I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. I went and worked Tuesday. I made like $50. That was enough to put, $30 in gas and get me something to eat. And I had like $5 or $6 left over. Okay, whatever. I'll try it on Friday. So yesterday was a really hard day for me. There is a person that used to come into the strip club in in Greensboro, North Carolina. His name is Lee Isley. He was an insurance...
Why are we... Oh, she doxes fucking everybody.
Salesman. He's since opened his own company and he sells lawn furniture. I texted him and asked him if he could help me. Like, I've got to get back to North Carolina. I've done almost 30 job interviews in less than 2 weeks, and I have no more interviews here, but I do have interviews in North Carolina. And so I need to get back up there. And so I was like, listen, can you help me out? I haven't eaten in like 2 days. Today is Saturday, the 23rd. The last time I ate was Tuesday. So, it's kind of bad. And I feel like shit. I feel like absolute shit. Like, my sugar level is low. I'm hypoglycemic. So, I could just drop dead at any fucking time. So, it's pretty bad, And he says, sure, I'll send you some money. Well, it never came through. He lied and said Western Union was down and blah, 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 blah. It was all bullshit. Of course, he's like, well, you've been missing. No, I haven't. Why do people keep saying that? Just because I don't have fucking Facebook and Instagram and I don't, do fucking TikTok accounts and shit, I'm not missing. If
people thought she was missing again. I swear we heard this recently.
you were looking for me, I'm not hard to find. I've been putting my life online for, 8 months now? It just really irks me when people are like, well, you've been missing. No, the fuck I haven't.
Yes, I swear, yeah. We've seen this one. We've seen a couple of these. She did the drug tests video as well. Life gives you darn lamp. Is she back in the house here? Why is she back in the house here?
Y'all, it's been a while. Let's talk while I'm doing some house setting for a friend.
Because you're doing house setting.
So for those that do not know, hello, I'm Brooke. I live out of my car full time. This is not what I want to be talking about today. I never thought that I would come to a point in my life where I would be the one saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't invite people into our marriage. Maybe...
Is it the Carpinos? Or complaining about the Carpinos?
It's not healthy to do drugs. Maybe it's not healthy to hate ourselves. I just never thought that I would be the one saying this to people, you know? So I've been doing these little side hustles where I go and I watch people's pets and animals, and I like this because it gives me access to a bathroom, a kitchen, all of these great things that every human should have access to. And I also started a new job at a restaurant. Now, this place is in a quiet little sleepy town, and I thought that it was going to be great. I did my interview. I go in for my interview, and I find out that this is a family running this restaurant. They have 2 daughters who are under the age of like 22, and then they have the wife and the husband. I go in, we agree to pay, everything's going right, and when I'm going to leave, I start getting text messages from the man. Now, y'all, I'm a little naive, and I think the longer that I'm sober, the more naive I become, because the nicer of a person I'm becoming. You know, it's just, I think that I want to believe that people are good, and I want to see good in the world, and so these people own apartments.
I want to see these text messages. I gotta find the video with the stupid text messages that we've heard about forever, but I've never seen.
They own a coffee shop. They own all of these things. They're giving back to their
fucking Carpinos, man.
Community. This man has 2 daughters. Surely he's not some pervert. So he says, when he's texting me after I leave my interview, he says, I hope that you and my wife can be really good friends.
She got fired on her day off. Those are, it's a skill. I don't know a lot of people who can say they got fired on their day off.
Once again, I'm being naive. I'm thinking, that would be great. You know, maybe she can give me some guidance in life. Maybe I can learn some wisdom from her. I mean, who better than to go to for advice than someone who's a successful business owner, has had a 25-year marriage, and has 2 grown daughters. So I'm trying to be optimistic and think, wow, this is going to be great. Then he says, if you ever need any money, just let us know. Do you need any money? We can give you some money right now. Now, once again, I'm being naive because I don't want to see the bad in people. And
there we go. Look at this. Look what I found. Let's chat about my lawsuit. Some of the texts from my old boss. And look, she's showing the phone. This is what I want. We're going to watch this one. We'll come back to the other one. Oh, it's in this fucking mode? You did it in
not
horizontal?
my computer about to die when I'm going live. Y'all, I look so rough this morning. Please excuse me. I'm in rare form. I have not done anything but brush my teeth. Let's talk.
Well, I mean, I guess there's no highlights today. I can't highlight shit. Why is that thing not working?
I'm going over these text messages to get them set up for printing. When you're dealing with a lawsuit like this, you're not going to be allowed to have your phone or any electronics into the courtroom, so you're going to need to print everything. Stuff like this, where my owner was texting me sexually explicit stuff.
This is what he was texting? What is this even?
That stuff needs to be printed.
He said, what do you think of that? What is... Hold on. Can we get any more context to that? I was trying to...
Going to need to print everything.
God. Hold on, we can do frame by frame. Of course, like, as soon as... Oh, can we read that? She said, y'all something going on, but something just ignored her. Something we spoke. I actually keep my... Something lot I say out of... I don't know, hopefully she reads this.
Owner was texting me sexually explicit stuff. That stuff needs to be printed. It's still kind of shocking to me that this lady and this man felt like they could just do this to me. So, something that I noticed right here, she sent me a half-naked picture, and I had already told her, please.
Did she say sorry?
Don't send me anything.
Thanks for the beans. You're up at my broadcast throwing me beans?
Abophobia super chatted $4.99. Can I get a gifted for now? I'm lazy.
I can't I can't pick and choose who I send gifted memberships to, unfortunately. I appreciate you though. There is a link in the description if you wanted to join for $1. But yeah, there used to be a way that I could trick it to do it, and I took that away, and now it doesn't work. So when I gift memberships, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how they choose it. It's just random.
Thing like this, she had actually asked 3 or 4 times, which is part of the messages that I'm going to be showing the judge. She kept asking if she could send me nude pictures, and I kept telling her no. Then
What do you think that, like, her and I had something going on? I just bought that? Sorry. What?
down here, if you notice, she says, she actually apologizes. She says, sorry. Over here. Sorry. So you knew what you were doing was wrong because you put sorry. Disgusting.
Maybe she's just showing you her new outfit, her lingerie. I don't know. Girls be sending themselves stuff like that. It's like, I'm not a chick.
Then, right here, I noticed this. Did Bridget tell you I'm a slut?
Hold on. We gotta go back. I want the whole context. Don't just read me one message. You're mad I sent that, but yeah. And then there's a bunch of glare. And then they said LOL. No, they can something Madison. Bridget tell you I'm a slut? No. She said nothing about that. I think I will wear it with jeans and boots. Maybe she's just asking for her opinion. Maybe she's trying to, like, spice up her love life and her marriage. She just said you and Michael were up to something. Didn't say what. She just said they have something going on. I don't know what they meant by that. I ignored her. So basically, I don't know. People are giving Brooke rumors about her employers, and now she's saying, like, look, she sent me this picture of her, so therefore they're human traffickers?
Why would Bridget...
This person didn't even tell you what was going on. They just said they have something going on, and Brooke is jumping to her own conclusions, or Brooke is lying to her employer?
Tell me you're a slut. Bridget was another bartender. She was one of my bullies that has since gotten in contact with me, wanting to do something about the situation that she's in. Why would Bridget know that my boss is a slut unless Bridget and my boss have been slutting around together? I have a lot more evidence than I thought I had. These people are truly stupid. Stupid. You have to be. You have to be straight stupid to be running a brothel out of a restaurant. Look at this dopey little fucker. Look at him. What a sorry...
Why are you showing his face? What the fuck?
Excuse of a human.
Brooke is
so
crazy.
I'm compiling all of her text messages first.
I'm really annoyed I can't highlight messages. It's driving me crazy.
She says, did Bridget tell you I'm a slut? I said no. She said nothing like that. And actually, that's a white lie. Bridget told me that they were weirdos, that they were swingers, that they'll fuck anything that walks.
Maybe we can.
And I said, she just said you and Michael were up to something. Didn't say what. She just said, quote, they have something going on. I stay out of it.
We gotta
and I
highlight
her.
comments now. I think when I close this, it'll just delete. I hope. Oh, I can just press delete there. So I don't have to keep a whole bunch of screenshots.
And I even say down here, please do not send me anything nude. Ha ha ha. My fucking ha ha ha. I need a fucking job so that I can pay my bills. Ha ha ha. I'm putting up with shit I shouldn't be putting up with because they're weirdos. And here she is. You won't tell Michael, right? That's a lie.
I need to lose about 15. Oh, God. Her phone. Why is her green ones all blurry, but I can read the... Maybe it's like... Maybe it's why, because they're green. I'm gonna tell Michael right now. You... Then why her... Oh my God. Why? Then why would she care if we got lunch somewhere, but I would not say anything? Bridget, say anything about me? Man, it's so hard to read. I'm actually something this morning at that, and I'm off. I don't know, man. Just read the messages, bro. Oops.
No doubt now, given the other text messages that they were setting together,
I'm off tomorrow if you wanted to grab food somewhere.
texting me. And matter of fact, she even says, will you fly with us to New Orleans if we pay you? So just like Epstein and Ghislaine would acquire the girls. Ghislaine would go and talk to the women in hopes of pulling them into her and Jeffrey's relationship. Ghislaine was actually the
Is that how you say it?
head of the operation. I know that y'all might not see it this way, but I'm here to promise you that Ghislaine was the head of the operation. Jeffrey sent her to acquire young girls. Same situation. Michael doesn't want his name in the mix, so he sends his wife to do all of his dirty work. Unbelievable. Oh, here she is telling me that I need to lose my bra, that I'll make more tips behind the bar.
Lose the bra and make more tips.
Just because you're a slut, Terry, doesn't mean that I am. I can make money without having to show my tits.
Not show them. Oh my goodness, bro.
I mean, these people are just unbelievable. I ain't even got to the best of it yet. This is what you call grooming? Why would I be mad at you? She's like, why are you mad at me?
Because you are fucking mad. Brooke's just non-confrontational. Whoa. Even though she's like, people don't like to be confronted.
She's saying, you're checking me out. You're shy. No, bitch. No, bitch. I have bills to pay. I need to pay bills. And I'm trying to stay the fuck away from you because you and your husband are weirdos who don't know how to respect your marriage. You have a lack of respect for each other and the life that you live by being married out here trying to fuck everything that walks. You're disgusting. That makes you less than. I don't make the rules. God.
So this is what she was gonna show the judge on her evidence board that she never got to show. She was all pissed about it. Well, I don't know. I don't know if this would prove human trafficking, Brooke.
It does. You had a wonderful marriage and you're over here assaulting women, sexually harassing your employees for your own perversion.
Thanks for the beans. You're up at my broadcast throwing me beans?
Abophobia became a member.
So I'm going to start at the beginning.
Thank you for becoming a member, Abophobia.
Y'all, when I tell you guys that she would blow me up from sun up to sundown and would not leave me alone, and I would try to avoid answering my phone at all costs because I didn't want to talk to this woman because I needed to pay my bills, but I figured that I could separate myself from these owners, which they made impossible. So she started texting me in February, and I immediately start talking about my job because you're my boss and you're asking me how I'm doing. So I immediately start talking about my job. And she is completely incapable of having any real conversation. Surface level. And she starts off by being secretive. Don't tell anyone I got your number. Why? You're my boss. Why wouldn't you have my number? Then she says,
Seems like she's just trying to be friends with Brooke.
I heard you were dating an officer. Let me tell you why she said this.
Were you? Was Brooke dating an officer?
This was to let me know that they were watching me while I was in the restaurant, because I had a friend that was a cop and we used to Snapchat. So they were watching
That's really interesting, actually. Is Brooke a snitch?
me, watching what I was doing on my phone. That was them letting me know that they knew. And
Is that why, like, she's so ballsy with the cops? It's just like, it's just an act so people don't suspect I'm a snitch. I just, like, I don't see Brooke like, she did, if she actually got 90 days for, like, the attempted murder of 2 people, that's really interesting. She's Snapchatting cops.
I said, no, it's a friend, blah, 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 blah. She said, don't think this is weird, but can I ask you about something? I said, sure. She starts asking me about stripping. She says, I don't judge. I want to ask you some things, but between us. I said, yes, before I met my ex, I got out of dancing. I had a rough life, but I'm a good person. I don't do drugs, lost both my parents young, went through foster care. Me and my ex owned a strip club. We lost it because we had a shooting. And she's like, she says, not saying it was bad.
A shooting? There's a shooting that happened at Brooke's strip club? I mean, not know. Why did she save all the juiciest stuff for when, like... How come I've never seen this? This is actually good. This is interesting. To me, at least.
Y'all, I don't know if she was drunk or...
I'm not saying, like, it was bad. Like, no worries. I was thinking about trying something. Okay, so she wants to get into strip. You fucking crazy, stupid woman, Brooke. So this woman was nice in that. She's like just being nice to Brooke or whatever. She's saying like, I'm thinking about getting into strip. That's why she's sending her the picture. So she's saying like, what do you think of this? Like, if I was to be stripping, do you think like this would be a good outfit to start out with? That's the context, right? Because it wasn't like sent with like, oh, I wanna get in them pants, Brooke, or anything like that. She was just like, this is what I got. I just bought it. That makes sense now, though, I just bought it. I thought at first, I thought it was fucking the guy showing her a picture of some woman. Like, he bought the picture or something and was like showing Brooke and accidentally sent it. I don't know what the fuck. But this makes a lot more sense now. So the woman wanted to be a stripper. And she knew that Brooke was a stripper. She was trying to get advice on her stripping career.
Or what? Some of these messages don't even make sense. So
No, it makes... Oh my... Fuck you, Brooke.
I'm going to go with drunk and on drugs because I know that was what was happening in the restaurant. I said, ask away, but I'm going to be very honest. There's not a lot of money in dancing anymore unless you get into prostitution.
Right? Now everything's starting to make sense. I was like, this whole Carpino story makes no fucking sense. Like, if they're actually doing stuff like that, I would hope a lot more people would be speaking out, that there'd be an investigation. It's just, Brooke is insane.
She says, should she try? She says she likes taking her clothes off for people.
So, think about stripping. Just asking the strip club owner / successful stripper what she should do about it. Even though maybe she's not, I shouldn't say successful. She's not a successful stripper.
And I told her, I don't think it's a good idea. You're going to be putting your marriage at risk. And then she says, what do you think about escorting? You guys, this is called grooming. This is getting you
She's asking. Probably because the two maybe overlap sometimes. You know what I mean? This would be your cue, Brooke, to say, no, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. But what do you say? Do you just keep going along with it because you were going along with everything else in the other messages? You weren't offended. You didn't bother you. You're like, no, that doesn't bother me. It's cool. I'm just coming to work this day. I'm going to get lunch with Bridget or whatever.
Comfortable with talking to other people about certain situations that you shouldn't feel comfortable talking about. This is grooming. Then she says, can you find me a boy toy? And I said, no. She's like, are you into girls? And I said, no. Okay.
I don't know. Your green messages get blurry.
And I said I had to fight to get away from the clubs and being able to stand on my own 2 feet. I just know that the clubs are not good. There's not a lot of money in it, and the environment isn't for me. I don't think you're gross. You have valid questions. However, I don't want anyone knowing that I used to be involved and invested in clubs. I hate that part of my life because that's not who I am. I had to survive. Do you think this bitch cares? Her next question after I said that, have you tried OnlyFans? What
So she's just asking,
did I
man.
tell you guys? Surface level grooming. This is what this is.
Trying to get advice. It's grooming.
Then she goes on to tell me that she's not even into her husband. She's into black guys. Good for you, boo-boo. I'm your employee. This is none of my business. This is sexual.
So that's why I'm going to post it all over the internet and show a picture of your husband and the address of his fucking work location. It's a good thing whatever Brooke tries kind of backfires. She did this whole hubbubaloo, and apparently it gave them an influx of customers. Like we read it was like an Instagram post from their restaurant being like, sorry for anyone who had to wait an extra long time for their food. We had a new POS system, and there's so many customers from this crazy ex-employee of ours saying a whole bunch of stuff that isn't true. If you came here on this night, come back this Friday and we'll give you a free meal to make up for like you having to wait. So like literally it did the opposite. It actually was a good thing for the business. So that kind of probably saved Brooke's ass, or she might have been looking at like a defamation lawsuit if they had the money to.
Harassment. This is grooming. Then she says she wants to spice things up in her marriage. This is unbelievable.
This is from October 7th, 2024.
What do you think of escorting? I think this is a horrible
idea, being honest. Heck no. I never got involved in that stuff. Escorting. I thought Uncle Randy owned an escort business.
idea. Why are you asking about escorting unless you're planning to get me or try to put me into escorting?
She said she wanted to get into stripping. She knows that you have a cop friend too, so like her offering you any shady like business opportunities, like criminal shit, would be stupid, right? Because if you're friends with a cop, that would be the last person I'd be offering like, illegal activities to. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to risk my criminal business with someone who's friends with a cop. Who's Snapchatting.
Sorry, you guys. I just got rid of the idiot. And then she says, you probably think I'm nasty. Gee, what? Your own insecurities. That's your guilty conscience, bitch. That wasn't me. That was your guilty conscience. See, you have a business. And you're supposed to respect that business and the employees that you hold. And you failed to do that. Y'all are not the type of people that need to be owning businesses. Y'all are trash. Y'all are going to burn in hell because of the pain that you have put others through.
Forgot that up here is, I don't know, there's like a clock and stuff, and it's easier to read the message. It's kind of in the middle of the screen.
Even if you repent, in my opinion, you're the type of individual that's going to burn for eternity because you've spent your whole life on earth harming other people, using your businesses to harm other people.
Remember when Brooke was teaching young girls how to be strippers, but we can't teach our employer how to be a stripper? That's apparently grooming.
Here she says, but if I had a friend like you, I bet he wouldn't care. We could just hang out and I could forget what I was thinking. Yeah, I bet so, you fucking pervert. And I just want to say that I was working other jobs.
Fucking. So shaky. Where you work at 4 a.m. Okay, talk to you later. I must. God. Whatever. She got orange nail polish on.
And this lady would blow me up and get butthurt that I wouldn't respond.
Doesn't seem like she's butthurt. You seem to be talking to her more than she's talking to you. She's giving you like 4-word responses to your paragraphs.
And it would be so bad, you guys, I would have to block the number. And then the next work shift, I would unblock the number because
Because you're crazy?
she would blow me up so much. What do you say to your employer, when they are trying to get you to fly to New Orleans with them and fuck them?
See, this is interesting. I want to know the context of this now. I'm so glad that we know that the girl Carpino was just trying to be a stripper, and Brooke is trying to twist it as they're grooming her to do nefarious things, so she's wanted advice. So what is this New Orleans thing?
And you need a job because you're going to lose your home, which is your truck, so you have bills to pay. What do you do? Oh, wow. So I guess it comes out down here. So she says that her and Bridget are fighting. We are fighting. That's what she meant. So why are you and Bridget fighting? Why would Bridget be telling everybody you're a slut? Oh, is Bridget mad that you're trying to fuck me now?
Why would Bridget be mad if they were trying to... Are you something going on with you and Bridget, Brooke?
See, she would blow me up. Is everything okay? Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Is everything okay? Did you quit? Maybe because you block her number or something and don't show up to work.
And I'm like, yes, I'm at work. I'm at school. Like,
I'm okay, I guess, girl. What are you doing in school? Are you sleeping? This isn't butthurt. Again, like, Brooke is messaging way more than she is. She's probably just, like, seeing if you're around. God damn, man. This is why you just don't talk to anybody. You never know if somebody's just showing all your messages on a stream out of context to make you look like you're a crazy person.
I have a life. Like,
I kind of do that to Josh Cook now. Because Josh Cook is evil, and he went back and he's given, well, James a home. James ran away, though, supposedly. See, I don't even know about that. We got to look at Josh.
I need you to leave me alone. I'm not scheduled for another 2 days. Then she started with, are you a hoe? So this is after I ignored her one night because I was working at another job, okay? I was all...
You weren't... That wasn't meant for you? Oh my god. I am so sorry. I feel so stupid. So that doesn't even... She didn't even mean to... That was literally the next message. She didn't mean to fucking send this, are you a hoe? And then she says, I'm so sorry. That wasn't meant for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid that I sent that to you. Don't be mad at me, please. Are you mad? Oh my god, please forgive me. Yeah, it really seems like she was... Jesus Christ, Brooke.
Also working at the winery then. And she said...
She probably meant it for Bridget if she was fighting with Bridget like she said she was in the other message.
Says, are you a hoe? And then she says, that's not meant for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it was meant for me. This is antagonizing. This is what abusers do when they can't. They're trying to psychologically harm you through text messages. Absolutely. And she did that on purpose. And I told her, I started my own thing. I've had 2 contracts this month. I'm busy. Let's go back because I didn't see the text message from them trying to take me to New Orleans, and that's the one I need the most. So first she's like, can you help me? I want to take my clothes off for people. Then she says, What about escorting? Then she says, are you into girls? And then she says, have you tried OnlyFans?
Can't believe that this is how I have to highlight messages now. This is so... This isn't how it's supposed to be.
Why is my employer at a restaurant asking me if I want to do these things with her? And I said, no, I don't agree with OnlyFans. But that's the way of the world now, right? The internet has killed dancing too. Guys can get online for $13 of spending instead of spending real money in the clubs.
She's bad at OnlyFans. That all makes sense now. That's why she's so mad at like this, the way the sex industry's gone. Because she used to own a strip club and guys would just have to come in to see strippers, and now they can just go on OnlyFans. What happened to the shooting at her club? We gotta figure out what club she used to own in this shooting.
If I gave you $1,000, would you try and help me? And I told her no. No.
What? Why is Brooke so mad at this person?
No. I want nothing to do with the sex industry. That's why I'm working in a restaurant bartending. Would you come to New Orleans with us if we paid you and paid for it all?
Okay. Well, that's... Where is them wanting to sleep with you in New Orleans?
These people need to be in jail. Straight to jail.
That said nothing about like for prostitution or anything like that. That was just like, do you want to come to New Orleans with us?
But if I had a friend like you, I bet he wouldn't care, and maybe we could just all hang out and forget what I was thinking. See, that's your problem, bitch. That's your problem. That's why you're going to be stuck for the rest of your life, because that's your problem. You're too stupid to see that the drugs and alcohol and sex are keeping you fucking blinded.
I'm glad she shared these with us. Kept this video up.
Too fucking
crazy freaking lady.
Stupid. And then I just love this. I would like to figure out your checks that are not right. If we owe you, we'll get it to you. Can you please tell me how much it is? So then I text him. That was him. I would like to get your money figured out.
Kim is coming over to take over, and Gracie is coming. I would like to figure out our checks. Last week. Your second check. May you please tell me what is missing? That's pretty ballsy. Like, why didn't Brooke take that opportunity to be like, you owe me so much more, blah, 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 blah. She says, all my checks were something. Hold up. $20 an hour. Wait, 1 minute. All my checks, something dollars an hour. I'd agreed to $7. Just to let you know, do you know when I can pick up my last check? He said, let me know and I'll text you back.
Then I texted him. All my checks were wrote. It's $6 an hour when we agreed to $7 to let you know. Do you know when I can pick up my last check? Which he owed me at this point over $2,000. And as you can see, he never got back to me. Never paid me. But this is their MO. They've been doing this for years. I'm just the first one to make a big deal out of it.
Can we see like the actual messages instead of the screenshots? Like, can you just open up the messages?
Oh, there's $145 right there. One of my bar receipts, $145. Let's scroll. If y'all want to add it up, add it up. $73.39. $48. $376. $54. 53, 141,
'Take me down to Funky Town.
Hey everyone.
Down.
138, 141, 159, 166, 166. And those are just tips. Those are just the tips that they owe me. That is not including the hourly rate of $7, 45, 73, 145, 169, 58.22, 45.70, 198, 22.21. Make it make sense. And I also have a
You just listing numbers at me. I can't make it make sense. Bro. You're gonna give me. Show me something else.
screenshot of what was supposed to be
The screenshot of what it was supposed to be. What app is this? Isn't this what you got paid?
one of my checks that I never received. So that's over 800, and that's on their business app. What dumbasses. And you can
The check's not just sitting at the place. They said the chick was just sitting at the place in the office. Like she just had to come by to get it.
see that I worked 55 hours, and then it had my subtotal, and then the taxes being deducted, and that would have brought it to 863. I never received it.
Back to the channel.
I forgot that I was supposed to see what Josh is doing.
So we have about 150 pictures to print off. I've also got to go through these text messages I've been adding. I just created a whole new folder.
When did Josh send this? I had to see dates on TikTok, but Josh says, I don't know. I still gotta get arrested soon, so you might not hear from me. He told me that the guy's gonna arrest me in a couple days. If they do you want his guitar? What guy? I thought James ran away and you weren't talking to him, so. I don't know. There's a guy who's gonna arrest Josh, apparently.
And then there was another... He even says right here, he says, okay, you're going to get the 360 in tips, blah, 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 blah. I never received it. I never received any of my tips. He screwed me over completely. I'm not the only one.
That's why the judge ruled in their favor in court. Because I'm sure they didn't have records of anything.
There's other women that have talked about how they did this to them and they've contacted me. But honestly, because I'm doing this case myself, I don't want any outside interference, you know? Yeah, that's why I'm suing him, Trent. That's why I'm suing him. Yep. I need a coffee. That tastes like shit.
Yeah, we saw her live yesterday where she went to a pride parade. Thought it was the protests. And then it was like, I don't know how this turned into that. Even though it was always a pride parade. Brooke is just, she can't read. Make America illiterate again. Laugh for 6 minutes straight, even though she's the illiterate one.
getting hot already. Did y'all see that skit? Oh my God, that was so funny. So there was, hold on. Hold on, y'all have to see this if you didn't see it. It's so funny.
That one order? Oh, not when there's fucking customers. My bad. Sorry. Tell the Haitians to stop fucking me too. My bad. I'll fly to fucking Haiti. Sorry about that, guys. So you guys want woof or whiskers? Let's see the meat. Just got a little bit
This
of
woman.
So it's actual dog? Dog, yeah. It's like a stereo. I'm ready to go. Come on.
They are.
So is she done with the Carpinos? I want to get food. She's not showing us any more messages. I don't think so. Okay, let's go back to the thing we were watching before then. Where did it go? Where did it go? Playing picture in picture my ass. Where's the fucking picture in picture? Hold on, it's lying to me. Where is it? Why is everything broken today? What the fuck is happening? Hold on.
And
whoops. It's like, it's not fucking here. Oh. This is really weird. Hold on.
I've had other employers that have offered me a cash advance on my paycheck before, but I never took it because I don't know what road that leads down. I don't want any money from anyone that I have not earned from them. Do you see what I'm saying? And not in like selling my body. Like I'm not in that way. Like I don't want any money from anybody that I did not earn in a normal job. One of the reasons that I got away from stripping was because I grew up. I realized that it wasn't right. So I don't want to go into any endeavors that are dirty. At this point, I politely decline his offer for this cash advance, and his wife starts texting me. And I cannot emphasize enough how hectic this become. This is when things really started going downhill. So she immediately asked me if I've ever stripped before. So I'm like, oh, wow, they done found
Because you were Snapchatting a cop.
on my social media page. They maybe have seen me strip in one of the clubs in one of the bigger cities. I don't know. But I immediately tell her, yes, I used to. But more than that, I met my ex. He got me out of dancing. We owned a club together. We had a shooting. We lost the club. We split up. At that point, I never chose to go back to dancing. I didn't want to go back to dancing. If I've danced in the past 4 years since I got clean, it was because I was solely surviving. I have to
She was saying that OnlyFans took away from all the stripping and there's no real dancing anymore. She was complaining about that. What are you talking about?
eat. I don't have a mom and daddy to call if I'm hungry. I don't have a friend to call if I get a flat tire. I don't have anyone, not one person in my entire life to call if something goes wrong in my life. It is up to me. So I am surviving. I've been in survival mode for the past.
I don't think the mods have been deleting anything. I've just been deleting stuff. People can suck my dick if they don't want to conform to what the fuck I'm trying to do here.
Past 20 years, and probably before that, because I left home at around 12 years old. That was the first time I left home. So I told her, it's dangerous. You do not want to go to the clubs. Why would you want to do this to your husband? She tells me that she feels old because she's almost 50, and I tell her she's beautiful. Don't feel like that. She tells me her marriage is boring. I understand. You think I ain't never been in a relationship where I fell apart from someone, where I fell away from them, I wasn't attracted to them? I understand. But going out and finding a boy toy, which she offered me $1,000 to find her some boy toy, and I'm like, girl, I don't even have a boy toy. Like, the closest people I know, my closest friends are at Planet Fitness. They work there. Like, girl. Then she asked me if I'm into girls. And I tell her no. I said, but do what you do. I don't judge. That's your business. You know, I'm being really naive. Really naive. She asked me about escorting. I said, I don't think it's a good idea. Just being honest. Like, and at one point I'm like, well, maybe they found my page and they're wondering if I'm some dirty whore that's going to come into their business and wreak havoc and steal their customers. Maybe that's what this is.
No, they just asked you and you told them. That's it. Okay, Brooke. I'm glad we watched that other stream for context.
No, y'all. No. And I have no doubt that her husband was sitting beside her the entire time and it was both of them texting me. I have no doubt in my mind. And because I know these people and I know how people like this work. I've dealt with people exclusively like this for the past 20 years. So she tells me that she's into black men. She's not into her husband, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And she says, have you ever done OnlyFans? I said, no, I don't agree with OnlyFans. But if you're going to do something, that would probably be safer. You know, and I'm telling her, you need to value your marriage. I said, I think it's a bad choice to dance and risk your marriage. I honestly don't know anyone. I don't talk to people in my personal life. I'm closer to the people at Planet Fitness than my own family. I said, I don't think it's a smart idea. I'm thinking about your marriage. And I told her.
The people at Planet Fitness that you fought and went to fucking court for? This is before that. People at Planet Fitness were closer to me than my own family. She talked shit about everyone at Planet Fitness and then accused them of child grooming.
For this on and off for a fucking month. I'm tired. Like, you know, and at this point, I feel obligated to text this lady because I need this job. This is so wrong. But could you imagine being a 19-year-old?
Again, she texted her way more than they texted her.
Old girl who didn't know any better. You're trapped in. You're living in their apartments. You're working at their restaurant. This is how the cycle of abuse happens. This is how coercion and manipulation, and this is exactly what happened to me. This is exactly how I got trapped. And I feel for these fucking girls. And it's not right. And no one is going to convince me that this is right. Because I've had people telling me that it's fine. Monogamy is not a thing anymore.
What? You didn't need to entertain this conversation, Brooke. You could have, like, dipped at any point in time. You could have been like, I don't want to talk about this. I just want to work. Instead, you, like, went on and on and on and on. So she kept asking questions because, like, if someone's messaging me back that much, I would assume it's okay to continue to ask them questions. And you kept answering. I don't know, man. Brooke is crazy.
So then she invites me into her marriage. She offers me $1,000 to sleep with her and her husband. Then she offers me a lavish vacation in New Orleans and money. And all of these advances throughout the month, I shut them down. I wanted nothing to do with this. This is not who I am. Yes, I've had to survive. But this is not who I am. I don't do stuff like this. And I'm not going to start today. And it's...
We're just going to take PB&J's money.
sad that this woman is 20 years old.
Money from my employer? No, thank you. Money from some guy who calls himself PB&J on the internet? Okay.
Older than me. These people, this man and this woman is 20 years older than me. And I am telling them to value their marriage. The emotional distress that I've been through in the past month, I'm going to have to fix it in therapy. That's how much it's impacted my life.
That's right, Tash and Jeff.
Something that I've never explained to y'all before is how when I feel things, I feel them so deeply and immensely that it shuts my body down.
Like, I don't know what Jeff's true motive or intention was, but what if he was like, I want to see Brooke get shot at this place, here's $80. She's like, oh, thanks, Jeff, thanks. But the Carpinos offer me a lavish vacation and advances to my pay to help me out in my time of need. Fuck them, they're evil and they're trying to groom me for me answering questions about my past to them.
I've always been this way. Always been this way. I've always felt things on a level that I can't explain. It breaks my soul. And with me having anxiety and ADHD like I do, when traumatic things take place, it literally shuts my brain down. I can't eat, I can't sleep, and then because I'm not eating, I can't function because my body is literally shutting down on itself because I haven't eaten from all of the stress. And then I'm not sleeping. Y'all, I will spiral from this stress. And I was. And not only was I spiraling from this stress, but I was drinking.
You can't blame the Carpinos for you drinking now. Come on.
To get through, not the day, but like when I would get off of work from all of the stress and all of the hostility and abuse that I was going through at work, because there's more. I would go home or go to my girlfriend's or go to the winery. For those that don't know, I got my job back at the winery. But
when did that happen?
Like, I would go and I would just drink.
Fucking, oh my god. Everyone, like, gives her second chances, too, even after seeing how crazy she is. And then what does she do? She just fucks him over again.
And then wake up and do it all over. And that is not healthy. I've already been down that road, and that is not healthy. So anyways, I have this couple that are texting me, trying to get me into the devil's work.
The devil's work.
Then I get to work.
No, they're trying to do the devil's work, and they're just trying to get your advice on it.
Their daughter is berating me, cussing me out, yelling at me, screaming at me on a daily basis. I'm having to deal with that. And that
is that Bridget? Is that her daughter?
That's a lot. Not only that, the bartenders are bullying me. But
imagine if she meant to text her daughter, "Are you a hoe?" and she texted Brooke instead. That'd be crazy.
Because they're into things that I'm not into, and they try to get me into things, and I refuse to get into those things. Sorry, I don't want to go smoke a blunt in the parking lot. Sorry, I don't want to have an all-night bender of cocaine with you. I'm not stupid. I'm a little ditzy, yeah. A little high-strung, yeah, but I'm not stupid. Already been down that road. And, you know, you can't tell people nothing. When people are living that way, they want to be living that way. They have to hit rock bottom and grow up, you know? Like, you can't tell people nothing. So, finally, they start throwing away my personal property. And this really, you know, sets me off. Like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? It started with my vapes and my vape pen, you know, and for those that don't smoke, I get it. You don't get it. I'm a 25-year smoker, and y'all, I'm not like, yeah, I am. I'm kind of crazy when I don't have my vape. I'm like, where's my vape? You know? So, you know, but like, they threw away, these things are about $20 a piece. They threw away 4 of these. They threw away my vape chargers. I had an agreement with Cody. Cody, you're a real one. You're the only real one that I met in that fucking place, to be honest, besides maybe one of the girl cooks, but that's debatable. And, we had agreed that he was going to show me the menu, how to cook all of the menu, and I was going to show him how to bartend, how to mix drinks. And so it's been a while since I worked with liquor. So I started relearning everything all over. I figured
McDonald's incident was she drove her car through a McDonald's. I don't know. She was like saying it as a flex one time. I don't really know much else other than that. She just said she drove her car through McDonald's.
the best position to be, the best way to start was to just start all over. So I got me a little index box and some cards, and I started writing down these drinks. So then Sunday, I get into work, and I got this girl that wanted a blueberry lemon drop. So I'm like, all right, bet. I got that recipe, ironically. So I go over to my box to get my recipe, and these bitches have done threw out every single one of those cards that I worked so hard on. The whole restaurant Sunday was going crazy. These people started scheduling me by myself with over 100 seats for me to wait on at a time. They were trying to get me to quit because I wouldn't subscribe to the drug use, to the prostitution, to breaking up a marriage, potentially. Like, when they figured out that I was not some cold-hearted slut like they thought I was from my social media pages, then that's when they started giving me crazy fucking hours. I was doing everybody else's work. None of the bartenders ever.
I don't think she had crazy hours because, like, they would always be texting her, "Did you quit? Are you coming to work? When are you coming back?" It sounded like she was making her own hours, judging on the text.
Stocked. They never cut fruit. That was all my job. When it's supposed to be, when you have 3 or 4 bartenders bartending at a place, every single day, the responsibility is different for each person. We all do this together. We work as a team, but it wasn't like that. They knew I was a nice person, that I would do it because I'm a hard worker. So then I would come in and there would be list on top of list that they wanted me to do on top of running this restaurant and bar by myself and DoorDash. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. You're not gonna talk down to me, cuss me out on a daily basis. There was no communication in that place. Everything was hostile, aggressive. And y'all, if this is the way of the world now, I'm gonna have to file for disability.
What? You're gonna have to file for disability? What is Brooke's disability?
I'm not joking.
She can't comprehend anything. She's kind of crazy. Maybe she could get on disability.
I'm not joking. I can't go into work every day and act stupid. But that's what these people wanted.
You're just gonna act like we have a disability instead.
That's what these people wanted. They were mad, the bartenders specifically, that I would come in dressed cute. Like, girl, you wore pajamas to bartend in, but you're mad at me because I wore a cute top. Make it make sense. Like, and something I want to tell y'all to beware
It also contradicts the whole you gotta not wear a bra thing if you're in pajamas.
of is surface level people. People who are not able to communicate or have serious conversations that should be had. Run. Those are the type of people that lack empathy. They lack understanding. They lack awareness. And so what they'll try to do is sabotage you because, they were jealous of you. You're in competition with them, but you didn't even realize it because you thought they were your friend. Surface level people that cannot get real and have real conversations are scary to me. I don't fuck with people like that. So, anyways, I end up quitting and I don't know. Well, what really set me off Sunday too is I'd gotten paid that Friday before and my check was fucking wrong. So I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay. I mean, going in, like I said, if things are bad from the start, they're probably going to continue to be bad. And that's what was happening. And things kept progressing and progressing. And then there came a point where one of the daughters, I walked in the kitchen and this girl is slinging, throwing, kicking boxes towards me and like showing out like a toddler. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is this what I'm going to have to deal with on a daily basis? And then one of the cooks was strung out on heroin. And here's the scary thing about addiction. The first thing that I thought of when I heard and saw that he was on heroin, because it's very apparent, he'll be passed out in the fucking kitchen when he's supposed to be making food. When I saw this, the first thing that clicked in my mind was, oh, I could probably go buy heroin from him anytime. This is not somewhere I need to be. So I have a question for the ladies that follow me on here. I am in the North Carolina area.
It's always for the ladies.
I need to
I don't think your audience is ladies.
go to church. And if any of my followers on here have a church in North Carolina and have anything going on for Easter, I would love to come and meet you, meet your family potentially. Like, I don't know, what you got going on, but like, I want to come to church with you. I want to meet your community. I want to meet your preacher. I want to meet, and I'm not coming dressed like this. Don't worry. I would never. I have class. But if any woman is in, anywhere between Charlotte, Raleigh, and the Piedmont Triad, anywhere in between there, I need to come to church. Like, I need to make normal friends who understand that it is not healthy to not have a monogamous marriage. Marriage is between two people and God. It's a bond. And you should not invite evil into your home by opening your marriage up to think that that's going to make things better. That's not. You need to heal. We are all like we are because of what we've been through. And most of us are walking around with trauma. We've been through some things. If your daddy was an alcoholic, You have trauma, honey. If your mama was emotionally unavailable, you have trauma, honey. If you were beat by your grandfather, you have trauma, honey. Like, if
You don't say.
your parents yelled and barked orders at you and cussed you out and physically, even if they didn't physically hurt you, that's emotional abuse. You have trauma. So I don't feel like I've met anyone recently, anyone that wants to do better. And I need to be around people who want to do better, people who are trying, people who are making.
Sounds like these people are just like living their lives, and you took a lot of things out of context to make them look bad for. I don't even know what does Brooke get out of this? I guess she was trying to sue them for pay that they were gonna give her anyways, just to get like views on social media. I don't know. Is she crazy? Does she actually think like they were trying to groom her? I don't know. I think she's just crazy.
Active changes in their lives. And it sucks that, yet again, this is the second job in a year that I've had to quit because I was getting bullied. And not only that, I'm getting sexually harassed at work. Let's call it what it is. There's laws against this for a reason. And no one's going to convince me that this is okay, because it's not. But this is the way the world is going in. I can promise you that. And mark my words, we're going to see a lot of restaurants under investigation, getting shut down, and these prostitution rings coming to light. They busted 2 in Miami last week, 2 different restaurants where they were running an illegal prostitution ring out of the back of the restaurant. This is a common thing. I've been in one of these restaurants. I looked at the waitresses and was wondering.
The side-by-side Brooke streams. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer today. My highlights aren't working, which is weird. I don't know if that's like an OBS issue or the plugin issue. My picture-in-picture isn't working, so I have her like smaller than I would like her. And I do the side-by-sides when so when she's live, but she's like not talking, or she like left us in the car, or she's doing something boring like working out. So then I'll find, we were watching the first truck repo, and then I would just kind of mute, unmute, and pause them so we don't have like dead air. But I'm just going in old videos right now. But I'll be doing those again probably. I gotta stop sniping her as much. And then I'm fucking conflicted, man. I really am. Like, I don't know what to do with my life, bro. I don't know if I should be sniping her all the time. She deletes streams randomly. So I don't have ESP. I can't predict that. So I feel like I should be sniping. But then when I do that, like, my core audience hates it. And then like, I also just deal with a whole bunch of people who don't like me anyways when I'm sniping Brooke. So it's like, it's a lose-lose for me, but it's growing the channel. So I feel like it's something I have to do. And I've been covering Brooke for a while. I was just covering her horizontal. And then when I switched to vertical, it's when like more people start watching. It's just unfortunate because like I was saying earlier, it's like when I finally things feel like they're going in the right direction, like channel wise, like everyone just hates it. So it's like I can't win. And I don't know. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I feel like at this point.
How does that bitch get that BBL, that nose job, and them duck lips on waiting tables? How? Because she's making $1,500 per guy she goes home with. Now I had a lot of customers coming in telling me, you know, this girl does that and this girl does that, and the girls would not deny it. And these girls are under the age of 20. Most of them are under the age of 20. And I remember when I first started, it seemed like all the girls were scared. They walked around like mopey and scared. This is why. They're trapped. They're living in these people's apartments, working at these people's business. And if these people will come at a 30-something-year-old woman like this, imagine what they will do to a young girl who's on her
Thanks, Warren.
own and has nowhere else to go and is hungry.
And thank you, Tash.
Just imagine, because I've been there. That's how I got into this situation to start with. These people have no conscience. These people are not capable of empathy. And it's heartbreaking to think the damage that they are causing to other girls. And it's not just girls at the restaurant. It's girls that work for all of their businesses. They own multiple businesses. I'm just glad that I quit when I did, because it wouldn't have gotten better. And there's a good chance that that could have caused me to relapse. I mean, I was already drinking. I was already spiraling. Like, and I knew this when it was going on. And I'm telling some of my friends, like, this is so fucked up. I can't deal with this. And they told me to deal with it. And isn't it amazing? Here's the thing. Isn't it amazing how certain people will tell you to deal with something, and in reality, they would never. They would never. And honestly, that makes me question my friend. That makes me question if they're even my friend.
I mean, maybe they've seen the full context and they're saying, like, you know what, Brooke? You don't need to be having these conversations with your employer. You can just go show up to work, do your job, do it to the best of your ability, and get paid for it. You know, I don't know many people who have such a close relationship with their boss, and I'm pretty sure if you just laid that boundary down to begin with, it wouldn't have really affected your work, I don't think, anyways. Because it doesn't seem like you're, like... doesn't seem like she's really into it anyways. Like, she's asking, like, 3-word questions, and you, like, text back paragraphs. Like, it seems like you were way more into talking to your boss than she was to you.
And that sucks. Because they know better. We all know better. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm doing really good, though. I have a job interview coming up. I'm going to stay positive. All I know is that I promised myself in 2024 that I would hold myself to a higher standard, that I would find, how can I say it? I would hold myself to a higher standard, and I would show myself more self-respect and love. And working somewhere where you're being assaulted, I forgot to tell y'all about that, but their daughter assaulted me at one point, ripped the iPad out of my hand, cut my finger open. That was the day I quit. And it's stuff like that I can't, because I had a flashback, and all I remember is I was sitting in a cell on my birthday and Christmas in isolation in maximum security prison, and I remembered in that moment what it felt like being alone in that hole for 18 months in maximum security prison. And that saved that girl. Wherever that flashback come from, when she jerked that iPad out of my hand, all I got to say is it saved her life. And I'm proud of myself for not reacting and just getting out of there, because they wanted a reaction. When you will not subscribe to people's fucking delusions, it makes them angry. It makes them self-reflect. And then they come and they start hating you. Now, that's not a logical path to take in life. But that's what happens typically, unless someone holds a level of awareness that they do some self-reflecting and they realize, hey, maybe I am always angry. Maybe I have been mean to this girl because I'm kind of jealous of her. Maybe I do hate myself a little bit, or maybe I am angry. You know, that's the logical path of self-reflection that you should be taking. So all I know is I promised that I was not going to allow anyone to harm, abuse me, or mistreat me anymore, ever again in my life. Ever. And I've given so many people the opportunity to be there for me. I've given so many people the opportunity to protect me, to love me. You have to be your savior. You are the captain of your ship, and it is up to you to protect yourself. So start doing it, because baby girl, them friends, they ain't your friends, girl. They ain't your friends.
It's too bad, like, everything's set in delusion, because sometimes she says things that could be inspirational, but I just know it comes from a place of such bullshit. Like, it's like, I don't know. Maybe this is how she gets people roped in.
I'm gone. I love y'all. Stay positive. Don't let anyone mistreat you. If you have a friend that's giving you bad advice, that might not be your friend. They might be in competition with you and you don't even realize it. Because you're a nice person. Like, anyways, I love you guys. I'm praying for y'all, and pray for me, because God knows I need it. Bye, y'all.
Hello. There was a woman named Julie.
This is funny. I don't know why this is a YouTube video. I'm pretty sure there's a stream from this, but this is when she was trying to get her stripper's license, I'm pretty sure, and they gave her a panhandling license instead.
Julie Armstrong here last week that messed up this paperwork, and I believe that she intentionally done it. Because you either have to be completely incompetent or stupid. Like, this is a hawker and peddler's license. I needed a dance license.
This is a hooker and peddler's license. Is there such thing as a hooker's license? Hold on, did I hear that right?
Intentionally done it. Because you either have to be completely incompetent or stupid. Like, this is a hawker and peddler's
Oh, a hawker.
license. I needed a
Her accent.
dance license. So I need a refund now. And she even notarized it for me to help me. This is for panhandling. This is to stand on the side of the road and ask people for money. I needed an exotic dancing license, which is what I asked her 6 times. I said, are you sure this is what I needed? This has costed me money. This has costed me resources. And good thing I don't have children, or my children would be hungry right now because of Julie Armstrong.
You do have children, they're just not in your care.
So I just need a refund. You have the receipt, I have the card and my ID.
Did you come to one of these windows to get this?
I did. We signed it last Friday.
Okay. If you will.
Yeah, I actually didn't really think of that. I don't know what a panhandling license is. I was assuming it was like a street performer thing, like having a license to be able to like play guitar in the street, I guess, and get money for that. But I don't think that's called a panhandling license. What is that called? I can't remember what that's called.
Thank you.
Right? I thought panhandling was illegal. It's a license to murder people.
Unbelievable. It's a car like.
Hawker just means someone selling things without a storefront, which I guess could entail music if you're playing. You're saying, why is there a car down there?
Completely submerged in mud.
That's not good. What is this?
Oh, there's a bumper. There's another Jeep down there. So being right here next to this river, it probably just come. And he said the levee broke, and it just.
Train tracks is.
Maybe is this from the hurricane season? The hurricane season was over. This is from 8 months ago in Asheville. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Destroyed.
I wouldn't even say. Oh,
This is when she was pretending to be a reporter. That's the next thing I gotta cover. I gotta edit videos. I hate daylight. I'm in a weird mind headspace. I don't want to be up during the daytime.
I see them now. They're off track.
Like the river used to. We used to be able. We had a gazebo right where the tractor trailer is.
Mm-hmm.
The gazebo's gone. Everything's just.
Now up top, is it safe up there for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, after the flood, yeah.
Yeah. I'll take you up there now.
At least half of them still have their home. I mean, it's just.
Brooke pretended to be a WYFM news reporter or whatever she impersonated.
Well, not even half of us because looters.
Oh yeah, that's what that one guy said, that there was people stealing from the Dollar General.
Yeah.
Did anybody call the cops? What are they doing? Nothing.
Cops.
Did she call it Dollar General? Hold on.
General.
The General.
Oh yeah, that's what that one guy said, that there was people stealing from the Dollar General.
Why did she say Gentral?
Yeah.
Did anybody call the cops? What are they doing? Nothing.
Cops ain't really doing anything.
Yep. Yep. That's the general census in all of the cities right now, so.
But yeah, we used to right there. We used to have a grill and smoke pit that had a gazebo and everything.
Oh, I see the fire. Yeah, the brick.
Now it's all gone.
I bet that was nice to come out here with all your brothers and grill out.
Right here's Winger.
So this.
Just a bunch of geese.
His wings messed up.
Yeah, that's one I was telling
Why are you laughing about his wing being messed up? That's not cool.
you about. He's a good enough.
His tail's wagging. That's so funny. I didn't know. Well, at least we have geese here. At least we got a few. He's a cutie. Look at his little fat feet.
but yeah,
Something like that. I mean, where do you even begin to get that mess up? I mean, that takes weeks, months, forever.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, at least y'all.
yeah, luckily we had Jay. He got the grill up and running,
That's smart though.
boiling water and everything for us.
Yeah, so you got grease too, so you get coffee. Yeah.
Just people just working all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a village to rebuild this.
This is home.
Jesus Christ.
And it is pretty. I see the fresh paint now.
This is home.
I did, before I got over here, I jumped on the computer and it said that there's supposed to be airlifting, MREs, water.
We haven't got nothing.
I know. That's what, I mean, I know that they're not here. People were calling me crazy on the internet. They're like, no, they're there. I had one lady say that there was 200 FEMA personnel over at the hospital. Well, I drove by the hospital. They did have some tents out there, but it was not FEMA. It was some kind of medical assistance program.
It's the VA is setting up tents.
Okay.
Why couldn't she just do this without impersonating a news reporter? Like, why couldn't she just do this independently? Why does she have to do everything the most wrong way?
Just military tents, and that's just the National Guard trying to help out.
Because there's nothing wrong with like going out here and talking to people and trying to see what's like actually happening. It's like the problem is her saying that she was with a news agency she wasn't with, impersonating an actual person, and then taking resources away from the hurricane victims.
So have
or survivors.
They told y'all anywhere that y'all can go for housing?
We'll find out in the morning.
Okay.
Possibly.
But for days, people have still been out on the streets. I see the families sitting on the curbs with nowhere to go.
I'll take it upstairs real quick. I went upstairs, but I didn't really get touched. But down there, got rope, just like the back sewers. But that building right over there used to have donated clothes for the vets and everything. We could go in there and get shirts, shoes, socks, toiletries. There's another.
I see that red
car
truck.
down there.
Yeah. I guess they got washed away. And it washed them out there. I mean, that one blue one is covered in mud. Half the car is full of mud.
That wasn't like that. That was all flat.
Oh, so none of the mud was there.
No, none of this mud was here.
Mm-hmm.
All this was green all the way up to that bottom.
Where the lake
tree,
starts.
That bottom tree down there.
Mm-hmm.
Right where the river is now. You used to be able to see the roots where it was just green all the way down. But now it's...
Well, when the water came in, I guess the mud came with it and it just settled.
Whenever the levee broke, because that big old tree right there.
Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Yeah. That was right next to we used to have like a little trail that went down there and walked all the way around property. All the way around. Now we have nothing.
And you said it housed 190, correct?
190, sometimes 200.
Wow. That helps a lot of people.
Just, we used to let someone bring a wall over, but it moved.
I noticed that.
This off.
Yeah, I did notice that. It separated the buildings. I did notice that. Yeah, that alone might have changed the structure, and they might deem the building, the flooding, they'll deem it inhabitable from the flooding, but...
Yeah, they're gonna probably condemn it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is...
It's a beautiful place. That's cool that they did this for y'all.
Yeah, I'm thankful for it because I was sleeping underneath the bridge last year around this time.
Yeah. I'm a full-time van lifer.
For 9 months, I was underneath the bridge in Hickory.
Were you, I mean, in the elements, you didn't have no car, no nothing?
No.
That's even harder. Yeah. I went through that recently, too.
I had a motorcycle, but somebody else has it.
Yeah, for 2 days I went without a car walking through the elements, and I'm gonna tell you what.
The fake homeless shit. Yeah, no, we were there if we just saw that. Stupid Brooke.
Being without a home is one thing. Being without a home and a car is something completely different. It makes it impossible. It makes it impossible. You have to have one or the other to survive, work, live a normal schedule. Jeez, that was a nice Jeep, too. I'm glad that you got off the street. Mm-hmm.
Brand new Jeep.
I'm glad that you got off the roads, and I hate that this natural disaster has done this to y'all. No, I'm actually enjoying being a full-time band lifer. Please don't tell nobody, but...
Are you kidding me, Brooke? This isn't the fucking person you tell that to. Are you... Oh my god. I'm actually really liking this. This is pretty cool.
Y'all. No, I'm actually enjoying being a full-time band lifer. Please don't tell nobody, but...
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, you good.
It allows me to be able to come out and talk about things like this.
They haven't even tried to.
Actually like pretending to be a news reporter. I think I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I know.
At all.
Yeah, well, the media says something different, and in my opinion, they lie.
Media can go fuck themselves.
They lie. They lie.
Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm, no.
But, yeah, that's...
All of that
Wouldn't Brooke be the media? This thing
got ruined. That was the spare shelter. They would keep extra supplies, socks, clothes, stuff for veterans that were coming in.
Yeah.
Look at this. And that was all grass.
We used to host Code Purple. We used to take in homeless people just in general. Just house them down there when it got really, really cold. And there's a car up underneath it.
Oh, it's crushed. Yeah. Whoa. Completely crushed and upside down. I saw one coming in. It looked like the wind picked it up and threw it on a guardrail, and it was like on a guardrail like this, and it went through the, like it cut the car in half. Oh my God.
That gazebo used to be right there.
That storage shed too.
Yeah, that storage shed used to be turned around and pushed up over there.
Probably flip it back up on its side with like 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, I think we can go down there. Not for sure.
Yeah, it don't look like there's nothing down there. Hey, this is what I wore my boots for. Got my American flags on them and everything. You know, I got a brother that's in the service. Really proud of him. He's been in for about 20 years almost. He's been able
Her brother's in the military?
to have some youngins and build a great life for himself, you know. It was a way for him to...
Hey, we got any more boots?
Yeah, what size are you?
13?
Yep.
Yeah. Point shroom, hey, point shroom comes in handy.
Oh, those are nice boots too. Yeah, you know, these veterans, you guys should not be going through this. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Look at oh my God, look at the cars, you guys. So this flood water come out of this, the levee broke, and this is some Final Destination stuff.
Final Destination?
I mean, this is horrific. It's one of the most devastating things I think I've ever seen. And to know all of these people were living here as part of a program for the, you know, VA to help these guys get off the street and get themselves on their feet, and it's destroyed, and now they're going to be back in the same situation they just escaped from, you know?
And take it off my points, right? Thank you.
You okay?
Yes, sir.
I think you got something on your boots.
What's that?
I think you got something on your boots.
Mud.
Oh, yeah, just a little.
Thanks.
Oh, just a little.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Nice meeting you, man.
You too. You be safe. It might have been a good thing that it's up on its side. That way all the mud didn't get inside of it and water rot the floor.
Why didn't she become just an independent journalist after this? Like, why? She's like, if I can't grift, it's just not for me? I don't get it.
I should probably go.
Yeah.
It's weird seeing her just like acting normal around people and showing us something that isn't the inside of her truck.
You don't want to get muddy. It's nice out here, but this mud, you ain't never gonna be able to get rid of it. It's so pretty because of the river being right there is what I'm talking about. Like, I can see how beautiful it used to be before all this stuff got washed up. And I bet that it's gonna take years to get all this mud out. Are that tomatoes? Oh, it's tomatoes over there.
Yeah.
Was it a garden over here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's so...
Yeah, I got them.
Yeah, it's a beautiful location is what I meant. Oh, those are cool. Oh, they're Oakleys too.
Oh, these are amazing.
Tell me about it. I did a hike, a 50-mile hike, and you gotta have good boots and shoes for that. So at this point, a lot of people's living out of their cars, right? I saw a bunch of people down there, car living. They're not having a problem with that, are they? Like the city hasn't said, you know, you can or anything.
Oh, well, you gotta find somewhere that's willing to take you.
Let you park overnight.
Yeah, just like,
Sorry.
That truck wasn't there. That truck was actually right over here. It moved all the way down here.
Yeah, I bet you if you get probably about 10 guys on one side of that building, y'all could flip that building back over.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in that building.
Oh, really? Yeah, you might want to take that out first.
That's where we used to, yeah, somebody's already tried to break into that one.
Oh, that was a looter, okay.
Yeah.
So what do the cops do when they called them for those disturbances? They say nothing? We can't arrest them, or we're busy, or
they can't do anything.
Probably takes them forever to show up. They're probably busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
Brooke's like, haha, so I can just take whatever I want.
They don't do anything.
I mean, it literally looks like some Final Destination.
Brooke broke in? Did she actually?
Shit.
Yeah.
Like some zombie.
Like
yeah.
My brother, he...
That was that? Is that the end of the playlist? Hold on. My picture-in-picture wasn't working. So those are all the videos on our channel. That's I was like, there's not a lot of videos. We can get through them probably. Interesting catalog of videos Brooke's got there. Yeah, close player. I just want to see, like, is it because of that player? What if I close YouTube completely, reopen it? What's it gonna do? Hey, Michael Scott, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make your dreams come true.
I'm turning into Shakira.
Yeah, it works.
They started calling me Shakira because they said my hips don't lie. Well, this hair is not about to lie either, let me tell you. I
don't know what this is. This was just, oh, this is only a month ago. Never mind. Look, picture-in-picture works again. That's about it. I gotta go, I guess. It's the daytime now. So she'll probably, I don't know, she'll probably go live at some point with Sniper. And I should figure out some other content to make. Daisy wants to come on tomorrow. So I'll probably ignore Brooke. Because we've been trying to, like, have Daisy on for a bit. And I've been prioritizing Brooke over everything else. So, that'll be good. I don't know what else. There's Tony stuff probably. At some point in time today we'll cover him. And I don't really know. I should probably just edit videos and not try to figure out anyone else to cover at this point. But I'll be around sometime today. I'll see you guys in a bit. What will we will?